Oh my God, I have my mic off. Okay, guys, today we are going to be looking at Rick Chow again. So hold on, let me turn that down. I'm sharing out the live real quick. Let me get it shared, and there we go. We should have Law, maybe Attorney Di, or maybe even our friend Jen join us tonight. We're going to be doing a roundtable where we will take some questions about the case as they come up. Right now, we're going to start until my legal assistance gets here. Oh my God, and it's restricting me again. Hold on, let me appeal it real quick because this is ridiculous. Sorry, I keep having to appeal this restriction. It keeps saying it's unoriginal content, and I'm like, no, it's not unoriginal content because it's very original. But anyway, so we're going to be having some of our legal friendies enter. We'll be taking some questions tonight. Right now, we're going to start out with, oh God, what is this? Our 6th or 7th witness. So if you remember yesterday, if you stayed with us for the entire live, by the end of that, we had sort of discovered what may be going on and why Rick Chow may have been found not guilty of murder. We found out from one or two witnesses that he was shot in the back by Rick Chow. And this young man, his name is Cyrus Belton, was 14 years old. And they were chasing him purely for thinking that he stole bottled water. And then we find out from some of the witnesses that he was pew-pewed in the back. I can't tell you enough how crazy that sounds and is in terms of a self-defense claim. While it won't completely negate one, it certainly isn't helping your situation, right? Because if somebody is fleeing, I don't know any state that allows self-defense in the point where a perpetrator is fleeing. Now, we've heard from the defense that Cyrus, had pointed the gun that he apparently had on him. And like, I'm not in any way advocating for 14-year-olds to have guns, but that's not the question here. That he had pointed a gun at Rick Chow's son, Andy Chow. However, we haven't had a witness confirm this yet. Now, the witness we had yesterday, the defense was acting not only completely unethical, but just ridiculously combative. We saw very few to no objections from prosecution about the way that he was speaking to the witness. I think we had a asked and answered objection despite him being repeatedly asked questions multiple times. And then when the prosecution goes up to rebut the defense test or the questions the defense asked, they don't clarify. They don't clarify anything the defense stuck on, particularly his vantage point, which I think is completely crazy. So the state took a real unaliving, a beating on their case, and they didn't do shit. So that is where we are at right now. Always fun. But we're starting to see why Rick Chow may have been found not guilty. So without further ado, we'll talk about this as we go through tonight. If you do have specific questions that I can answer, or that when Law gets here or some of my other legal panelists, they can answer, please let me know and I will get to them.
Next month will be 44 years.
It's a long time. And what is your current job there?
I'm an investigator in the digital forensic unit, which is part of the criminal investigative division.
How long have you worked in that role?
I've been in that unit since 2007.
Almost 20 years?
Yes.
Okay. And prior to that, what were some other positions you had as a sheriff's department?
Like most officers, started as a uniform patrol officer. From there, went to several different teams that worked out of investigations. Uniform teams at that point. Went to be the resident deputy in the Dutch Fork Valentine area for about 8 years, where I pretty much did everything, worked from home and did everything law enforcement wise. And then have been in investigations since 99, I believe. 1999.
And what are some of your duties as a digital forensic examiner?
The digital forensic unit covers mainly cell phones now. When I first started, we did computers, we did cell phones, which were just coming about, especially the smartphones were just coming about. Also installing cameras and other GPSs and type work like that. And then Currently, we're kind of split where we have several people that do all the cell phones, and I do just about all of the video. If I'm available, then I do the video and DVRs.
And is part of your role to participate and assist in criminal investigations when asked?
Yes.
And in your career, I guess, as a patrol deputy, a investigator in the criminal investigations unit, and now in the digital forensics unit, have you been asked to collect and download surveillance videos for crimes like murders, robberies, shootings, shopliftings, thefts, and other crimes?
I have.
And you said, compared to when you first started the sheriff's department, technology has kind of changed. Has video evidence become a more common and important type of evidence investigations?
It has. Most major investigations have video involved somehow or another. Most minor investigations have video involved somehow or another. You have a lot of the video that I don't have to deal with because it's automated through license plate cameras and stuff like that the investigators or the intel division can access through databases. But then a lot of what we have is video that's in stores, people's houses that they don't know how to download, or they've forgotten the passcode or something like that. So just about the vast majority of our cases have something to do with video.
So you mentioned license plate readers. Did that exist? That type of technology exist when you first started?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And so in your role, have you had to learn and become familiar with advances and updates in digital technology?
Yes, ma'am. It's constantly changing. You have to keep up.
Okay. And back in 2023, or May 2023, did you work as a digital forensics examiner?
I did.
Okay. And regarding this specific case, were you involved in collecting surveillance video equipment and other storage equipment from the Shell gas station and downloading videos from them?
I was.
Okay. And did you do a report to document your involvement?
I did.
Did you also take pictures to document your involvement?
I did.
And as part of your job, do you commonly go to like stores, gas stations, retail stores, and other types of places to collect surveillance videos?
I did.
And when you go to these different locations to collect videos for these criminal investigations, typically do you work with the investigator or the deputy involved to kind of learn some information about the case and what video footage to collect and time frames?
My main involvement is they're supposed to give me a time frame that they want. On occasions, it'll be an object that they're looking for, a blue car or something like that, something specific. But I usually need the date and time that they're looking for.
On May 30th, 2023, did you respond to the Shell gas station?
I did.
And that would have been 2 days after the shooting?
That's correct.
And by that date, had Rick Chow already been arrested on May 29th?
I believe so.
Okay. And when you got involved in this case, were you aware that this was a murder case stemming out of the child's allegations that the victim shot with the word from his door?
I was.
And were you aware that another Sheriff's Department digital examiner, John Burkhardt, had downloaded some videos from the store the night of the shooting?
I was.
And were you able to access and review the videos that he downloaded?
Not at that time. I did later.
Okay, but at some point.
At some point.
Okay. Did you later go to the store and collect additional surveillance and storage equipment and some computers?
I did.
Or after Burkhardt did?
After Burkhardt, that's correct.
And when you went, were there other investigators with you in the store that day?
There were.
About how many other investigators were with you?
For clarity, I believe we heard from the other digital examiner earlier in this case. I believe they were the second witness. What I can't figure out for the life of me is why they are calling this particular one. I want to see where they're going with this. This is weird and feels very out of sync in line with the way we saw the progression of witnesses. I'll say that for now.
At least 3 that I recall.
And when you entered the store, where in the store was the video equipment located?
In the office.
Okay. And was that at the back of the store?
Back of the store, yes.
And did you take pictures of kind of how the office looked and the video equipment when you first entered it?
I did.
All right.
I feel like maybe they're trying to introduce other evidence. We'll see. Parts of trials are slow and some move quickly.
I'm going to show you states 57, Well, 58, 59 first. You tell me if you recognize this in these pictures.
I do.
Okay. And did you take those pictures?
I did.
Okay. What's shown in those pictures?
The first picture is the information screen from the system that was on the computer in the store. The other picture is a screenshot of the monitor showing the different views that were available.
Okay. And showing you 57, do you recognize what's shown in this?
I do.
Okay. What's shown?
So that's several of the computers that were in the store and the 6 servers that were in the store.
Your Honor, the state request to enter number 57 through 59 into evidence.
Without objection. That be admitted to state 57, yeah, 59 without objection.
So let's look at statement of duty status.
Yeah, they're trying to establish a foundation for, I guess, something they're going to
Now,
show.
this picture was not taken at the Shell station the day that you were correct.
That's correct.
All right. But does this picture show the equipment that you collected from the store?
It does.
Okay. And kind of again, can you describe what types of equipment is shown in this State 57?
So basically the 4 items to our left are computer systems, Windows-based computer systems. The other items, the 6 items stacked one on top of each other, are storage systems, currently referred to as RAID systems, that were in store.
Okay, those 2 things at the top, what are those?
Those both appeared to be the network switches.
Were those the NVRs or?
Well, first there's a network switch, and the other one. So, on the top row, the kind of one to the left, that's a network switch that could be. That might be the back end to one of the DVRs, the NVRs.
Okay.
And then the other one is definitely an NVR.
Okay, so focusing on the 6 servers stacked up, what are servers usually used for?
For data storage.
Okay. Like video data storage?
It can be, yes.
All right. And on the day that you went to the store office, you know, was the equipment like organized like this? Describe how the equipment was laid out in the office when you went.
So the servers were on the shelf that was off to one side. The computers were, a couple of them were on the desk, one was on the floor under some paperwork. The DVRs were actually on the other side of the room, but they were hooked in through a network cable somewhere.
Were there a lot of wires and cords attached to these things?
Going everywhere.
You said what?
They were going everywhere.
Okay. And did the investigators at the scene transport these items back to Richland County headquarters?
They did. They were transported back for us.
And can you describe like how y'all transported this video equipment back?
I don't recall if they had Tahoes or Ford Explorers, but they were SUVs. As I would turn things off and get them disconnected, then I would hand them out to them, and they were loading them into the trucks, and so that they could all take them back to the office.
Did it fit in like the back seat in one of the cars or front? Like, how much space did it take up?
It pretty much takes up a full-size Explorer, or medium-size, whatever it is, Explorer.
And when you analyzed this equipment, when you got back to your office, were some of those servers and devices used to store surveillance videos recorded from Rick Chow's cameras?
Yes, I was able to get video from the 2 NVRs.
Okay. Now, were you able to gain access and download videos from all of those servers in this picture?
I was not.
And why weren't you able to do that?
I did not have the correct passwords.
Okay. And what were the names of the, I guess, systems that you were actually able to access and download videos from?
So there's the Hikvision NVR and the Dalhua NVR.
And were you able to download and access videos from those 2 devices?
I was.
Okay. And why were you able to do that?
I was able to get access into them, and they're NVR is another name for a DVR that is networkable. And so if you could get access, then you could download from a DVR.
Were any of them password protected? Would you like to see your report to pressure?
I better look at that.
Okay.
Old people and technology is wild. Oh, hi, Laura.
So I was given one passcode that worked several items, but did not work the other items that I tried to get in. And I
You can
believe
come up
one of
whenever
those
you're ready.
DVRs had a swipe passcode, but I was able to get access into both of them.
Okay. And where did you get that password from?
It was sent to me through supervisors at the department who I told them, requested it, that some contact be made to get those.
And that contact would have been made with someone in the Chow family?
I really don't
Or
know.
associated.
It was my understanding it was may have been with the attorneys that were representing the child.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you said.
You said,
So I don't know exactly where they came from. I requested them. I was given them back, and it was my understanding that it may have been from attorneys speaking to the child family is where we got it.
so let's look at State 58. All right, and what is this?
So while I was in the store and before or it was actually later, I brought up that was the one computer that I could get into that held the Blue Iris software. So that is a sheet that gives you information on what version and that type thing. So I made a record of that by taking the pictures.
And that says that this Blue Iris security software is registered to Rick Chow?
That's correct.
Okay. And is Blue Iris software designed as like a video surveillance management system?
It is.
Okay. And are you familiar from your experience in dealing with different types of video surveillance systems and downloading videos, are you familiar with some of the features of the Blue Iris software, the Dow and the Hikvision MVRs that you?
I am, and depending on the cost and how high line it is, there's a lot of different variety in what you can get.
Okay, so let's just talk about some of the general features of these things. Do these camera systems have the ability to customize or add features?
Some do, yes.
Okay. Do they only allow you to operate one camera through the
I'm
system, or can you have
sorry,
multiple?
requested law. I didn't have the thing pulled up where I could see it, so
Can
my
you
apologies.
have like an audio feature in these types of camera systems? Audio, like do they record audio in some of these video systems?
I'm not hearing what you're saying.
Do these video systems record audio in the video?
Some do, yes. And that's usually, you'll have the option to either hook a microphone, or a lot of times that comes off a camera that has a microphone to it. And then you can select and have it come through. And it's usually only done on one channel.
Okay. And do these camera systems, can they offer some type of remote access?
Most do, yes.
Okay. And does that mean that you can you don't have to be in the actual store or on one computer to access the videos and stuff?
That's correct.
Okay. Do these camera systems have the ability to have remote access to like a cell phone too?
Yes, most manufacturers will have an app that you can download and then access it through that app.
What about the ability of the camera system to take screenshots and save them?
Oh my God. Can they get to the fucking point? I get it. They have to introduce all this stuff, but like, this has been a game of 30 questions about nothing one of those fucking jurors cares about. I am going to be so real with everybody. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but like, Jesus fucking Christ, get to the point. Keep the brevity is important here. Nobody cares about the digital forensic examiner and the shit that they're familiar with and how they pulled this off of a fucking system, unless this is somehow relevant to how Rick Chow shot this kid in the back. Please hurry up.
A lot of the systems, even the basic DVRs, you can select a screenshot of the video that you're looking at, and on some of the higher line ones, it's able to download it and put it to a computer that you're using.
And speaking of these, customizable features that you talked about and the added features, can you add any facial recognition features to these cameras?
You can on many of the systems nowadays.
Okay, so let's look at 59. All right, can you bring them over this? Okay. So looking at 59, did you take this photo while you were inside the child's store?
I did.
Okay, and are all the cameras on this screen maintained through the Blue Iris software system?
They are.
And is each camera angle labeled by different names?
They are.
Okay, and do these angles show either inside or outside the store?
They do.
Okay. And at the bottom right, it says May 30th, 2023?
That's right.
All right.
Not to mention, we've already heard from another video examiner. I'm not saying that this witness is not relevant or that they're not introducing things from this witness. This is not the claim I'm making. But this does not need to be a 45-minute conversation. I'm really hoping that they're going to hit on whatever the fuck is relevant here at some fucking human hour into this shit.
Looking at that, I guess, let's see. If you look at like the different screens, do you see some of them have like little bells on them?
I do. You're talking about
It's like a little bell symbol.
Yes, I can see those on several of them.
Okay. Now, when you went back to your office to analyze this particular equipment, or software, or video cameras associated with the Blue Hour software cameras, were you able to download any videos from those particular cameras?
I was not.
Okay.
Oh my fucking God.
And were you looking for, what date were you looking for videos from?
From the date of the incident.
But you couldn't find any?
I did not.
Okay. So were you also asked to collect surveillance videos from other locations around the area?
I was.
And were those locations Spring Tree Apartments and like Greenbrier Apartments?
That's correct.
And where are those apartments located in relation to the gas station in Spring Tree Drive?
So Willow Oaks is the road that runs beside the gas station. If you go down there,
hate it here,
the first
y'all.
place on your left is Spring Tree.
Oh, thank you,
And then all the way
Ari.
at the end of that road is the entrance, guard shack and all, to Willow Oaks. And then there's a back gate about halfway down there.
And why did you decide to collect videos from those specific locations?
You don't know what you have until you go and look at it and collect it. So with both of those, there was a possibility that the cameras had shown the incident occurring on the roadway.
Okay, and after you reviewed those videos, did they show any of the chase down the street or the shooting?
I could not see that. I could see cars moving and stuff, but the one from Spring Tree is kind of blocked by a hill and trees. The one from the guard shack at Greenbrier is blocked by the hill in that roadway. And then there's a separate camera on a pole by the back gate, and of course they're interested in people coming to the back gate, so that camera's turned down too low.
So earlier, you talked about as part of your job in your kind of 44 years
That's right.
at Richland County, as law enforcement, you've collected videos from multiple different types of stores and other gas stations?
That's correct.
Okay, so let's look at state number 57.
I'll look at state 800
So,
if they get done.
how would
with
you
it.
compare
Oh, thank
the
you,
amount of
love.
video surveillance systems, the amount of storage servers that the Chow saw in their stores compared to other stores that you've been to?
An objection. Your
You're welcome to come up whenever,
To
Pookie.
establish that he has that, the ability to do.
Overruled, go ahead.
So the DVR systems, it's not unusual to see more than one in the store. It's not unusual to see DVR systems that are built into computer systems. What I found unusual was
I love your
amount of
chicken
storage.
love. That's so cute, Law.
That's it. And way more storage than I've ever seen at any convenience store or house or anything like that.
Okay, and those 6 servers that are stacked up, those like little individual slots, what are those?
Those are hard drive things.
Okay, and based on your review of those servers, like how would you estimate how much storage that they had?
If I remember correctly, they each had a 20 terabyte hard drive. So
Nobody
you're looking
gives
at
a
120
fuck.
terabytes
Get to the point.
for each box.
For each one of like the big boxes is 120?
I believe that's what they were.
Okay, so it would be estimating 120 times 6
Yes.
is the amount of storage? Okay. And is there like an analogy of like something that's close to that amount of storage? Like
This
Actually, have the
prosecutor
figures on that. So
and
you've got
prosecution team suck.
12, not 6 in each box at times 20.
so you said what?
So you have 20 terabyte times 12.
Okay.
Who cares?
And like, apps and stuff like that, like
What
I guess
is your point?
computer storages, like do they usually have this much storage?
They do not.
Okay. And based on your familiar
First of all, maybe Crazy Blessed Life, because my eyes would have glazed over immediately, mostly because I can barely operate my phone and computer. I'm lucky I know how to use TikTok Studio, and it's because it's so plug and play. Ari, my love, tried to get me to use OBS, and I could not figure out what the buttons meant on OBS. Like, that's how dumb I am. So first of all of this nonsense, my eyes would have been rolling in the back of my head. Second of all, what is the point? What point are they trying to make? Are they trying to make some point that they had all this storage, but they couldn't find the video from that day? Because obviously they found some of the video from that day. We've seen it. So I cannot understand for the life of me what this motherfucker is doing up here. But God damn it, it better be momentous for the level of boredom I feel right now.
familiarity with digital equipment, would you describe
What's a petabyte law? I don't know what that means.
Describe the types of equipment that the Chows had in their store as low quality or inexpensive?
It would be expensive.
It's expensive?
Yes.
Okay, like $200 expensive?
No.
Or what?
I have not priced the Synology. That's a brand name on those storage boxes.
No, I have no idea. Exactly this.
Redacted, stop starting shit down in those comments.
Foundation, but it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Just the hard drives nowadays would be very expensive. Hard drives have gone up tremendously. At that time, you were probably looking at several $100s per hard drive. Boxes like that.
Thank you, Law. I appreciate that.
I would be safe to say in excess of $5,000 a piece.
I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I believe I have the 1 terabyte of iCloud storage from Apple. So just saying, y'all. Just fucking saying.
The one that I have in my office is nowhere near as robust as that.
Redacted? I swear to
It's
God.
at least that much.
So it's fair to say they made a large investment in their security and storage equipment.
Yes.
So you said earlier, as a digital forensic examiner, you have to learn about advances in technology, correct?
Correct.
And are you familiar with facial recognition software technology?
To some degree.
Okay, can you just generally explain what your knowledge of that is?
So, facial recognition basically uses
Nobody
biometric
fucking
points
cares.
on a person's face. It's
Was facial recognition
science type thing where you pick out so many points that are in the same place. It then basically makes a mathematical algorithm out of it. And then with the newer DVRs and
Law, I know your chicken's getting a massage and you don't have to respond to this, but I am about to get the foil out when you get up here and make myself a motherfucking tinfoil hat because this prosecution team, I'm calling it now. They are not only incompetent, but they are in cahoots with the defendant. I feel it in my fucking spirit based on these witnesses.
and cameras. There are actually some cameras that will do the facial recognition itself, but you can compare that to a known picture, and it can tell you whether it's the same person, or it will give you a probability rating as to whether it's the same person.
Is facial recognition a method that law enforcement can use to identify people?
It is.
And typically, to use facial recognition technology, you have to have a photo of that person's face, right?
That's right.
Okay. And can that photo come from a screenshot of a person's face from a surveillance video?
It can.
All right. And are you aware of Richland County Sheriff's Department investigators using screenshots from surveillance videos to identify potential suspects through facial recognition?
I am. We have an intel unit in the investigative division, and they usually handle that, but they also have software to do it with, where they can take pictures from a lot of different places and use it to compare.
And are surveillance videos a useful tool and source of evidence that can assist in criminal investigations?
They are.
Okay. And even in non-criminal investigations, let's say like a missing person investigation, are you aware of surveillance videos being used in that context?
Yes.
Okay. And I think you kind of mentioned this earlier, but surveillance videos can show people. They can even show cars of interest, right?
So yeah, most of the systems that do any type of recognition,
Like all the videos we've seen
can be
where
set
people
so
have
that
been
it will
like, "Is
recognize
that
whether
your
it's a person that
car?"
it's seeing, whether it's
Like
a car that it's
those?
seeing, whether it's a small animal, dog, cat, something like that.
Have you personally ever been asked by an investigator?
I hope every single last prosecutor on this case got fucking shit canned after this. I hope they did.
At the Sheriff's Department to take a screenshot of a person's face from a surveillance video for a criminal investigation?
I have.
Can surveillance videos help identify potential suspects in crimes?
It can.
Can surveillance videos also be used to eliminate people as suspects in crimes?
It can.
Can surveillance videos be used to prove that someone did not commit a crime?
It can.
Now, in the videos that you downloaded from the Hikvision and Apple DVR system, were there approximately 5 different camera angles captured in those videos?
I believe that's correct.
Okay, and those captured angles from both inside and outside stores?
Correct.
And were those videos in color?
They were.
All right. And when you reviewed those videos, did you see any videos that showed the victim inside the store?
I did.
And how well were you able to see the victim's face in those videos?
It's pretty clear. It's very clear video, actually.
Has anybody contested
So looking at a still
that
shot
he
from
wasn't
tape
in the
number 3.
fucking store?
And that's from a video that you downloaded. Looking at the victim, can't you zoom a little bit? All right, so you're able to zoom in. Looking at his pant leg, are you able to tell what that symbol is?
It appears to me to be the Nike swoosh.
Okay, and that came from a video downloaded from the child's video surveillance system.
That's correct.
So still looking at this still shot, that green box on the victim's face, what does that appear to be?
The green box is what's known as a boundary box, and that's what the system is doing to focus in on what it's looking for or what it sees and recognizes as either, if it was a person, that boundary box would probably be, head to toe or somewhere about there. And so it appears to me that it's looking at the face. I don't know how accurate it is or anything like that.
And what other types of technology have you seen those green boxes show up on videos?
I've seen it on a lot of different DVRs and NVRs.
What about facial recognition?
Yes.
Let's look at 59. Or actually, pizza. Alright, so looking at these, say 59 with the camera springs that you testified about, when you look at this picture before, how many different camera angles did the defendant Rick Chow have set up in
Nobody
his store
fucking
solely maintained
cares.
through the Blue Iris camera system?
We got 39.
39? Okay.
Listen, I'm
No
a
further
little bit
questions.
of nerding, but this has gone too far.
No questions.
That was it. That's what they pulled him up there for? That fucking hot nonsense? I'm gonna keep my cool. That was what they needed him for? To look at a video and be like, yeah, that may be facial recognition software looking at his fucking face. That was it? That was the fucking big reveal? Fucking get the fuck out of here with this dog shit.
All right, solicitor, what you got next?
We have one.
Matthew Dooley, Michael Dooley.
Fucking redacted. I never would have guessed.
Do you swear or affirm that we should in this case for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, Chelsea. Witness stands, take your phone in for the record. Please spell your last name.
For real, be preacher, for real.
My name is Investigator Michael Dooley Jr. with the Richland County Sheriff's Department. Last name is spelled Dooley.
May I please report? Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm good. Sir, you told us that you work with Richland County Sheriff's Department. Can you tell the jury what you do there?
I am a crime scene investigator and a DNA serologist in training.
Yeah, those are some pretty fancy words. Could you break that down into layman's terms?
Absolutely. So my job duties include responding to crime scenes and
I swear to God, redacted. The 13th juror, really? Yeah, we're looking at this from the perspective of a juror. I'm already rolling my eyes and feeling this jury's pain. That is where I'm at with this case so far.
processing and collecting and documenting evidence. And I also am a evidence processor and screener for the DNA section.
How long have you been doing that job?
Approximately 3.5 years.
Did you do anything before then?
I was a patrol deputy on the road.
Did you have to do any specific training for this particular role?
The crime scene investigation role has a very extensive training program that involves a lot of book work.
I want to be clear. I think that I caught before I started kind of fast forwarding to get to this gentleman that this is their last witness. When I tell you that the state's witnesses have been compelling to some extent, but the state shit the bed so bad yesterday that if you don't watch any of my other YouTube videos, go and watch the one from yesterday, because it was like explosive diarrhea at Disney World fucking bad. It was that level of fucking dog shit. The prosecution did nothing to help their witness on the stand, who was being basically berated by a defense attorney. It was so horrible. Then they call that motherfucker the guy, this last guy who stole 30 minutes of my life to Preacher's Point that I really want back. And then I don't know what this guy's going to deliver, but it better be really fucking compelling. Or I already told Law I'm getting the tinfoil out when he comes up.
There are practical examinations to test and see whether or not you're competent in those areas that you were trained in, to include various different things that you may encounter on crime scenes, like photography, bloodstain pattern analysis, shooting reconstruction. There's also written examinations and then a mock trial at the conclusion of that training program.
So it's fairly extensive.
Very.
Okay. So as far as your role in this case, could you tell the jury what you did?
So in this case, I responded to the autopsy for Mr. Cyrus Carmack Belton in order to photograph and collect and document any evidence that may have been necessary to receive for the case.
Is that fairly standard in these kind of cases?
It is.
And I'm showing defense within my clarification state 7-4-1. State Exhibit 7. I'm approaching the witness with flipping mark. Identification purposes, State Exhibit 74, 75, 77, and 78.
Oh, fuck my life.
Without showing them to the jury, could you look through those and let me know if you recognize what those are?
Yes, these are photographs that I took of evidence or at the actual autopsy.
That you specifically took, right?
That's correct.
Do they look materially different from the photos that you took that day, or they changed at all?
They're not.
Okay. And at this time, the state would offer into evidence states 78, 77, 76, 74, and 75.
No objection.
Part of the United States 74, 75, 76, 77, and 78.
Commissioner Pavlik? All right, Mr. Dooley.
Just slow as fuck.
This would be a photograph of the projectile that was collected at autopsy.
And it was, you got it from, where'd you get it from? Who'd you get it from?
I received it via a chain of custody form from the coroner's office.
Could we show 76, 75, sorry, 75, yes. Could you tell us what we're looking at here?
This would be a shoe that was collected from the autopsy that was said to have belonged to the victim.
And
So the shoe that he had on, not the one he lost, the one he had on, I'm guessing.
and is that the same item, just a different area?
That's correct.
That shoe better be fucking
You told us what
a
was
case
here.
breaker.
If I may refer to my notes so I make sure I tell you correctly.
Kill me fucking now.
That would be an injury that I photographed to the right shin.
The right shin of the victim in the case?
That's correct.
Could you tell us what this is?
That is just another angle of that same injury to the right shin of the victim.
Reports and buildings?
Yeah, he fell down. There's an assumption there would be some fucking injuries. Let's talk about the shot to the fucking back. Can we talk about that?
In the coroner's office, did you notice anything on the victim's body? Did you notice anything on him at all, as far as on his? Did you notice anything?
You mean like clothing items, injuries?
When you got there, was he clothed or was he unclothed?
The victim was nude at the autopsy.
What, if anything, did you notice on his back?
I noticed an injury to the
What up, Law? It's like the prosecution's just up over here making me wish that I would have not watched apparently what are their last two witnesses. But thoughts?
So I was half listening to the video tech guy. What were they trying to get out of him?
That was my question. Absolutely fucking nothing. That's the conclusion I came to, that he knows that facial recognition software recognizes a face, and they showed him this picture of him with this like box that was kind of like on his face like this, and he was like, well, you know, it's probably trying to recognize the face. I can't say for sure because of blah, 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 but that's probably what it's trying to do. That was the end.
Did they introduce any exhibits through him?
Sort of, but they were only exhibits that pertain to questions he was answering, which is like the picture of like his the equipment that he confiscated and stuff like that. But there wasn't anything, I would say, monumental to the case that I think that they would use for other witnesses, if that makes sense.
I guess, like, was there any evidence that you saw that are going to help the jury make the decision introduced through him?
One fucking thing.
So none of the surveillance footage or anything like that?
No, they didn't. Like, even like, because they had shown us the earlier videos of like the cars driving by, and they were like, can it recognize cars and da 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 da, and like, if they had shown that, I would have been like, okay, you know, maybe there's a point to this here. But there was collectively nothing that they gained by questioning him on the stand, other than to note that there were certain video files he couldn't access because I guess passwords or whatever, and that that was it. Basically, that was the biggest thing of note from him altogether.
Fascinating. All right, we can keep playing.
Okay, yeah, it was 30 minutes of my life I want back.
the victim's back.
Was it something that you took a photo of?
It was.
Would you recognize that photo if I showed it to you?
I would.
Your Honor, the state's approaching the witness with worth mark by identification purposes. The state's 80 and 81. Stop showing those to the jury. Do you recognize what I just showed you?
I do.
Are those photos that you took?
They are.
Are they materially different from the photos? Do they look changed in any way?
They do not look changed.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would offer Exhibit 81 and State 8180 in evidence.
Give that.
Well, Your Honor, our objection is that it's not going to be questioned about what it is. We'll introduce a photograph, but this is a medical question for the...
Give me just 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
So I don't think this witness is competent to characterize what it is. So I have an objection. Don't object to the admissibility of the picture per se if he took it. I do object to any further testimony. And Your Honor, simply, so I don't have to get up again.
And will be admitted as states 80 and 81.
Thank you.
Okay. Permission to publish?
Yep.
Was this what you saw on the victim's back?
It is.
Was it what you took a photo of?
It is.
And is that the same thing that you noticed in the victim's back, just different photo?
Yeah, it's just a closer photo.
Court's indulgence.
I've seen 1L students introduce evidence more effectively than that.
Diagrams for the victim?
The pathologist produced a diagram of the victim's injuries for me.
Okay. Did you observe any scans of the victim?
There was an x-ray performed on the victim.
Would you recognize the photo that I showed to you?
I would.
You're on the state's approaching the witness with marked by the state figure 79.
And Your Honor, I have a slightly different objection, but the same objection. This is a photograph he didn't take. It's a photograph he saw. He can't.
Oh, he stepped out of that, yeah.
That was the question. Okay. I'll remain standing.
Do you recognize what I painted you?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
It is a photograph of the X-ray that I took.
It's a photo that you took.
That is correct.
My objection is he didn't take it. He saw it at the autopsy. That's for the
You
pathologist.
said he took a photo of it.
He did take a photo, but he didn't know what he was taking a photo of. That's my point, Your Honor.
He thought.
Effect on the listener.
Overall.
So it's a photo that you took.
That is correct.
Does what I handed you, does it look substantially similar to the photo you took that day?
That is correct.
And at this time, the state would offer state sending none evidence.
All right. It'll be admitted as state 79 subject to whatever that objection was.
Permission to publish, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
And where we
Subject to whatever that objection
That is the photograph
was.
I took of the X-ray.
What's up, Law?
The judge is subject to whatever that objection was, because the defense attorney just like complained about it. He didn't actually like raise an objection. Is it hearsay? Is it, inadmissible because it's not firsthand knowledge? There was no objection there. So that was a little snide remark for the judge towards the defense, just being like, yeah, subject to, we're going to admit this subject to whatever that objection was. I just found that hilarious.
I'm going to be real. Like, I feel like the prosecution is trying to be professional, but they're completely incompetent. Like, I'm saying that with all the weight behind it I can give. And the defense attorneys are just out here raw dogging this shit, and they're beating them. Like, this is the most insane shit I've ever seen. Like, this is wild work. I've seen shitty prosecutors. This is horrible.
Well, even the whole introduction was sloppy as hell. Like, the introduction of evidence is 4 questions. What is this? How do you know that's what it is? Is it a fair and accurate representation? And then you ask the judge to admit it. Like, that's it. And that was just sloppy as fuck.
I fucking hate it here. Okay, we'll keep watching this guy.
And lastly, Your Honor, I'm pushing the witness before the mark for identification purposes as state exhibit 9. Do you recognize what I just handed you?
There
I do.
better be a point to why he's on that fucking stand.
This would be
too.
the package I submitted to evidence containing the projectile collected from autopsy.
Was it something that you collected it from this one?
Yes.
No. This is a guy, I guess, from the police department. I don't know. He explained what he did. But
I heard who he was, but if this is their last witness, the fact that they didn't bring in the medical examiner to talk about any of the injuries is fucking insane. Like,
that's what I thought I caught, that this is their last one that they're going to call. But again, I could be wrong, but I thought I heard it while I was kind of about to skip over, but it's possible I could be wrong.
Well, but the way they're questioning him makes it sound like they're trying to get the fact that he was shot in the back through this witness and not the medical examiner. So if they didn't call the medical examiner, I'm going to go make me a tinfoil hat, because that's fucking insane.
You better do it too. I want to see it. Like, I'm telling you, this is supposed to be their last one. I feel it in my gut. Okay, we'll get back into it. Sorry, I'm eating a granola bar. I apologize, y'all.
Where did you take it after you collected it from the coroner's office?
It was immediately transported to our headquarters.
Did you do anything with it between the coroner's office and your headquarters?
I did not.
You just took it from the coroner's to Richmond County?
That is correct.
Your Honor, this time the state would offer state exhibit 9 evidence only for identification purposes and projectile.
No objection.
Be moved to state Maryland without objection.
No further questions, Your Honor. Please answer anything from the defense.
Wrong thing?
Mr. Dooley, did you go to the, I'm not clear on this, but I've been clear to the jury, I'm having more trouble hearing you at my age, I guess. Did you go to the scene of this incident?
I did not.
Okay. But you did go to the pathologist's office where the autopsy was held?
That is correct.
So your job was, as you've said, just take some photographs, collect some evidentiary evidence, all right?
That's correct.
And among those items, you collected the things you testified to, and you took photographs, though we don't have them, you have them, I assume, of a backpack?
If I may reference, make sure.
Absolutely.
I did not have a backpack.
Sorry?
I did not collect a backpack or
Did not.
photograph one.
Did you collect all of his clothing items?
All that were present at autopsy.
Did they include a hoodie sweatshirt,
They did.
red,
Yes.
with a picture on the front?
Yes.
And did that have a pocket on the front, big pocket?
It did.
Hands or whatever?
It did.
All right. Did you find anything in there?
Inside the hoodie pocket?
Yeah.
I did not.
Find any money? Nothing?
Get that tinfoil
I did
ready,
not.
Law.
Do you have a pair of pants? Shorts, pants, long pants?
He was wearing or had
They just showed
black
a
pants
picture of
and
him
blue and black shorts.
in fucking
These long pants and shorts?
He had both.
Okay, both of them. Did you find any money or other wallet, credit cards in that
Why
item?
is this relevant,
I did not.
Law? Please tell me why this is relevant.
In the shoes, did you collect both
That he
shoes or one
intended
shoe?
to steal.
Gotcha.
I collected one shoe.
We have Exhibit 75. It's been admitted. That's that's the side view of the shoe, I guess.
Yes.
Then we've got 76, which is the top view of the shoe.
That would be correct.
The top shoe is laced, but would you agree that that's loosely tied?
It appears tied to me. I can't tell whether or not it would be tightly tied or not.
You don't know the difference between loose and tight, but okay.
Oh God, get
You
to
didn't
the
find any
point.
money, wallet, credit cards, or any items, anything in the shoes.
No, sir.
And this is sped up too, which is sad.
So, of all you collected at the autopsy, in his personal belongings, no cash money,
None that I observed.
no credit cards,
No, sir.
no wallet,
No, sir.
no ID.
Cool.
No, sir.
Thank you. Anything I regret?
How many 14-year-olds have a wallet and an ID? I'm just asking. Maybe the wallet, maybe, but he had a backpack on him, so I could see maybe why he wouldn't have had a wallet. But how? I don't know a lot of 14-year-olds that carry around an ID. Just a thought.
Right. And, he had a backpack which wasn't collected, so there may have been money in that. But it seems like what the defense is trying to get to is he didn't have any money, so it was a just assumption that he was going to steal. But keep in mind, he put the water bottles back. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into a store and realized I left my wallet in my truck, put back what I had, and then went and got my wallet.
Well, but even if it were a just assumption, it's also a hindsight assumption. Rick Chow had no way of knowing he didn't have any money on him. Neither did his wife, and neither did his son. They had absolutely no way of knowing whether this young man had money or not. And they're the ones who shot him. So, like, for me, it's kind of a hindsight, it's outside looking in thing, because it's really easy to, like, Monday morning quarterback and be like, he didn't have any money on him. But that the store owner who shot him in the fucking back didn't have any way of knowing that. Unless
Yeah,
they
you're thinking
X-ray.
you're thinking like a lawyer. What they're trying to do is character assassinate the victim here. and make
Still.
the jury think that oh well, this kid with a gun was either about to steal it or rob the place. Like that's all they're trying to get out of this.
I get it. It just like I like for even as like I guess maybe it's just because it's me. Like that I would have been like, but Rick Chow wouldn't have known that. That would have been the first thing I thought of because I would have been like, okay, I get you. I feel what you're saying, but like he wouldn't have known that to begin with. So
Right.
There you go.
All right, sir, you step down. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
that's fucking it.
All right, I think now is a good time to break for lunch. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to excuse you to go to lunch. We will, let's be back ready to go at 2 o'clock. And, again, don't discuss the case with one another or do research, anything of that nature. And enjoy your lunch. We'll see y'all back here at 2 o'clock.
Everyone remain seated to puberty.
Case of firearm comparison. That's our main bread and butter. And so the original
Okay, maybe it wasn't their last witness. Let's hope that's the case. I thought I had heard that, but like I said, I could have been wrong. Who is this?
Do you swear or affirm testimony you're giving this case to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you for that seat. Witness stand, state your full name for the record, and please state your last name.
Amanda Metz, M-E-T-Z.
Okay. Investigator minutes, right?
Sort of. It's examiner.
Examiner minutes, okay. Where are you employed?
I work at the Richland County Sheriff's Department in the Forensic Sciences Laboratory in the Firearm and Toolmark section.
Okay. How long have you worked with the Sheriff's Department in that capacity?
I've been at the Sheriff's Department for 16 years and in that capacity for 14.
Okay. Tell us generally, I mean this is a broad kind of question, what goes on in the forensic science laboratory, specifically the firearm and tool marking section?
So the Firearm and Toolmark section primarily examines firearms and ammunition components and then we report our findings to the court. So we're examining them for forensic evidence. What this means is primarily we're doing a bullet-to-bullet comparison, bullet-to-firearm comparison, cartridge case to cartridge case comparison, cartridge case to firearm comparison. That's our main bread and butter. We have a lot of other kind of smaller disciplines that we do, so tool marks, such as bolt cutters to a padlock, that sort of thing, as well as serial number restoration.
I swear to God, Law, if they ask her 45 questions to establish that Rick Chow's gun is the one that shot Cyrus in the back, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Get some of your 1Ls up there. Maybe they need to be doing this job.
Yeah, this should be just 3 or 4 questions. You
know it
evaluated
won't
the
be.
you evaluated the evidence, correct? You used appropriate, scientific analysis in that. What types of analysis did you use? Did your analysis draw any conclusions? Yes, it was, regarding what firearm, fired that, and did it match the firearm that was blah blah? That should be it. And if they go on beyond that, it's going to be needlessly because they do have to establish that it was the defendant's firearm. It's the state's burden to prove
I get that.
But,
Yeah.
But they don't need 30 minutes of questioning to do that because the defense. It's a self-defense claim. So by the very nature of a self-defense claim, the defense has conceded and stipulated that it was his firearm that did it and he was the shooter.
She is on the stand for at least 30 minutes from what I can see. This is
God fucking damn it.
I hate it here so much. Maybe they just have some sidebars and objections. I'll take it. But I swear to fucking God, I'm going to lose my mind. You know this is going to be dog shit. Everything else has been dog shit. I'm telling you, this tinfoil hat is looking better and better every moment I'm wearing it. Well, I'm going to speed it up to 1.5. If you're really lost in the comments, let me know. But I can't do this with them again. Like, I can't do it. Okay, let's see if this works for us.
Muzzle to target distance determination, and then we also participate in the National Integrated Ballistics Information Imaging Network, also called NIBIN. It's a lot easier to say. And we do that all with either evidence cartridge cases or evidence firearms.
Okay. Any clue, I don't know, how many firearms you examine in any given year?
The laboratory or myself? I can probably tell you over my career, I've examined thousands, 5,000 myself. Yearly, we examine well over 3,000, 4,000 firearms each year in the laboratory.
Okay. Are you ever asked to match a fired cartridge casing to a firearm?
Yes, all the time.
Are you ever asked to match a projectile to a firearm?
Yes, all the time.
Okay. Well, I guess before we get going too much farther, what is a cartridge casing?
So a cartridge case, well, we'll start out. A cartridge is the unfired ammunition, so it's the whole piece. It contains the projectile or bullet that sits inside the cartridge case, which is what holds the gunpowder, as well as the primer. So the primer and the gunpowder are what have that combustion that allow the firearm to actually function, meaning it allows the bullet to be pushed down and out the barrel and towards the target, and sometimes, depending on the type of firearm, the cartridge case to be pushed back and extracted and ejected.
So a fired cartridge casing is what will be left behind after a projectile is fired?
Yes, after a cartridge is fired, a cartridge case could be what's left behind. So in some situations, such as a revolver, the cartridge cases aren't extracted and ejected, they remain inside the cylinder. But the cartridge case and a projectile are what we call fired components. They're what happens after you fire the cartridge. They're the remaining components. So the cartridge case will no longer have the gunpowder, and the primer's been expended, and then the projectile obviously will have passed through the barrel of a firearm. And so those are two fired components.
So like this was an intact cartridge or unfired bullet. When it's fired, the projectile travels away and meets its target, whatever it may be, and what's left is this casing.
Correct, cartridge case, yes.
Okay, and the projectile, wherever it goes, you can sometimes recover it too to match it back.
Sometimes, obviously, it just depends on how far it's gone and what it's gone into. Same thing with cartridge cases. Sometimes you can recover them and sometimes you can't.
All right. Were you asked to, in this particular case, examine the Glock 45 and the Taurus 9mm pistol?
I was, yes.
Were you asked to examine a projectile?
Yes.
Were you asked to examine a fired cartridge casing?
Yes.
Have you been qualified as an expert before in firearm and tool marking ID?
Yes, I have.
All right. Approximately how many times?
Approximately more than 20 times, 20, 25 times.
Okay. You know, at this time, the state does offer examiner Amanda Metz as an expert in firearm and tool marking ID.
No objection. No objection. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you something about experts, and then I need to make this final note that expert testimony is necessary to assist the jury in resolving certain factual questions. Ms. Metz is qualified in the area of firearm and tool mark and methodology testimony. Ladies and gentlemen, normally a person cannot give you opinion testimony. Their testimony must be what they heard, saw, smelled, touched, something of that nature. However, there's an exception when somebody is qualified because of their education experience. They are permitted to give you their opinion in certain areas if I find that they are qualified. As I stated, Ms. Metz will be qualified in the area of firearm and tool mark.
They settling her in as an expert witness?
Correct, because she's the one that did the analysis on the tool marks. So she's not a lay witness, somebody who observed the offense or observed or not offering evidence relevant to that. She's offering interpretive testimony about what the evidence means, not what the evidence was.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I had to take a potty break. So, all right, gotcha.
And that does not mean you must accept her opinion, but it's evidence for you to use any way you see fit and give whatever weight of credibility you deem necessary during your deliberations. Okay, Mr. Scott.
Examiner Metz, I have that your analysis took place between May 13th, 2024 and June 10th, 2024?
Yes, correct.
All right. And during that time period, did you have an opportunity to examine State's number 11, which has been admitted into evidence?
Yeah, so I recognize and identify State's Exhibit 11 as my Richland County items 21 and 22.
Oh, okay. Well, it's State's number 11 for this trial's purpose, but you recognize?
Yes, correct. As Richland County items 21 and 22.
Okay. I'm going to need to refer to the State's number 11.
Yes.
What is State's number 11?
It is a Taurus Model G3 9mm Luger caliber pistol. The serial number is ADG 488788, and The other part of that, which is a separate item number for us, but still State's Exhibit 11, is
Not
a
a
Taurus
Taurus.
9mm Luger caliber magazine assembly and 10 unfired 9mm Luger caliber cartridges.
Okay, so the magazine, you had not only the pistol, but the magazine and 10 unfired bullets.
Well, yes, however, they're not in this box.
Okay.
They-
But for course safety purposes, we don't typically
Yes,
enter a gun.
correct.
But you received
Yes.
10 unfired cartridges.
That's correct, yes.
And did you find State's number 11 to be in working order?
I did, yes.
Something up on the left screen, it's like someone's computer is locked and it keeps making noise. I don't know who's talking.
Anybody plugged into the system?
Somebody's
I don't know what
somebody's in the house and it keeps.
Somebody's logged in.
Bullets, but that's a cartridge in.
So,
We're talking about, you had 10 unfired, I'm gonna call them bullets, but that's a cartridge in.
yes, cartridges is the correct term for unfired. Bullet is what comes out and down and out the barrel of a fire.
You had 10 unfired cartridges.
Yes.
You had a magazine and then you had a 9mm pistol.
Correct.
Did you test the 9mm pistol?
I did.
Was it in working order?
It was functioning properly, yes.
You did you or did you not have a chance to look at State number 6? Is that tack light? What would you call it?
I did not have a chance to look at State's Exhibit 6.
Okay. We met last week.
Week before that.
Week before. And I showed you that State number 6, a tack
Yes.
light. And we were able to put it on the Taurus, were we not?
Yes. Well, this is a solo fish laser flashlight combination. And the way they design it is so that it has rails that can expand and contract. They're designed to fit most pistols, even compact pistols. As long as the firearm has an accessory rail, they could even fit a rifle, depending on, again, if it has a correct accessory rail. They're really universal. They're meant to go on quite a few different firearms.
Okay. With State's number 11, Taurus, it would be compatible with solo fish, tack light.
It's compatible with just about every pistol that has accessory rails, which the Taurus does have accessory rails.
Okay. And are you familiar with the solo fish brand?
I'm familiar in that I've seen it attached to firearms and know how it works, yes.
Okay. Are laser pointers attached to firearms, is that an uncommon thing?
No.
What about flashlights attached to guns? Is that uncommon?
No, that's not uncommon. I mean, this is a very popular brand flashlight, and almost all of their flashlights are flashlight laser combinations. So you have the option of either having a laser or a flashlight or both at the same time.
I mean, could I buy one of those, like at Dick's or Academy?
You could get it off of Amazon if you wanted to.
Amazon? Okay. Did you have an opportunity to, well, you already said it, the Glock 45, that's State's number 10. An opportunity to examine that?
Can we get to some modicum of a fucking point?
Yes, I recognize and identify State's Exhibit 10
Like, I love the weapons identification. What a banger. Why is she up there and what are we doing?
as Richland County items 19 and 20.
The 10 is the Glock 45 caliber?
That's correct. It's State's Exhibit 10 is the Glock Model 30 or 30S 45 auto caliber pistol. Serial number is XRP621, as well as a Glock 45 auto caliber magazine assembly and 8 unfired 45 auto caliber cartridges. But again, I don't have
Said code 45 and 2 zigzags. Sorry.
the unfired cartridges in this box.
Oh. Now, with the Glock, were you asked to test it against a fired cartridge case?
I was asked to do a general examination, which is when we get this evidence, we look at the fired evidence first, look at class characteristics. So class characteristics for fired evidence is the caliber, what sort of, for cartridge cases, we're looking at firing pin shape, ejector shape, any breech face markings. For projectiles, we're looking at the caliber again, as well as the rifling type. Once we determine that, then we would look at the appropriate firearms that we have.
Okay, so the Glock number, State's number 10, was it in working order?
It was working in order, yes.
You just described a general kind of analysis of...
Yes, so we don't get fired evidence and only compare it to a singular firearm. Like that's not our main goal. Our main goal is to look at the fired evidence first, see what characteristics fit, and examine the firearms that could have fired it. So in this instance, we have 2 different caliber firearms, and then we would compare our fired evidence to which firearm has the correct class characteristic or caliber.
Let me see if I can ask that another way. This is State's number 7. It's been admitted into evidence, and it's a fired cartridge casing from a 45 caliber pistol. So did you examine State's number 7 and compare it to State's number 10, the Glock pistol?
Can I have some scissors, please? Yes, I recognize and identify.
This is why nobody's listening to experts. Just for clarity, they're going to forget 9,000% of everything she's telling them.
States Exhibit 7 as Richland County Item 5, which is one fired .45 auto caliber cartridge case.
Oh, you gotta open it. I'm just gonna set it here. So, okay, so that, we kind of talked about there. That's a fired cartridge casing.
Correct. So there's nothing inside of it. When it's unfired, gunpowder is housed inside of it with the bullet kind of like holding it all in.
My analogy, that would be the thin part that's
yes,
left behind projectile.
exactly.
That fired cartridge casing.
Yes.
Did it match either one of those guns you just said?
It did identify to States Exhibit 10.
Which is?
The Glock 45 auto caliber pistol.
That fired cartridge casing matched state number 10, which is the Glock 45 caliber pistol.
Yes.
All right. You still get your scissors. So this is state number 9. Let me ask if you get a chance to examine state number 9.
Did we really need this many questions to establish that the gun Rick Chow had was the one that fired the shot that unalived this young man? Is there any reason we needed this many questions?
This is what you would normally do if there was a dispute about whether or not it was his gun or whether or not it was the fact he fired. That's not really a question here. So he's going through a bunch of steps that could be greatly consolidated because the defense is already acknowledging that it's Chow's gun and that Chow fired. So, like, if excuse me, if the state, if the state was trying to point a finger at my client and say my client fired the gun, they would have to go through every step of this because they need to make sure that they tie the bullet to the gun to the person, and all of that. But this is kind of needlessly extemporaneous because all that they really would have needed to ask her is, what kind of analysis did you do? Did your analysis lead to any conclusions? What was the conclusion? It would be that simple.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like it's he's claiming self-defense. Like, he's already acknowledged he's fired the gun. Like, this is not complicated shit. This prosecution team sucks. I'm normally not a fan, but this is particularly terrible.
Yes, I recognize and identify States Exhibit 9 as Richland County Item 16, which is one fired metal jacketed bullet.
Okay.
Do you want that too?
What we got?
Oh.
Is that state number 74?
I have to. That's not my photo, so it looks similar. Yes.
Okay. Is it projectile?
It's a bullet projectile. Yes.
Is that how the projectile, the bullet looks when it's attached to the cartridge before it's fired?
No, that's not how it looks when it's intact before firing.
Okay. What causes a projectile?
So this is a jacketed hollow point, which means that the inside is lead and surrounded by a metal jacket, usually copper or brass. And jacketed hollow point means that the top of the bullet, the nose of the bullet, is open. And those are designed to, when upon impact, spread so that it doesn't travel through your target and possibly hit something you're not meaning to shoot at.
Okay.
So this is what happens. It expands into this pretty starfish.
Okay. So state number 9, projectile. Were you able to match that for the firearm test?
Yes, I identified it to States Exhibit 10, the Glock 45 auto caliber pistol.
So the Glock 45 fired the casing that you heard testimony about before, and it fired the projectile shown in State 74, but also what you got in front of you was State number 9.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so is it your expert opinion that the Glock 45 fired the casing, State number 7, and fired the projectile, State number 9?
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
I thought they said it was a Taurus, not a Glock.
The Taurus is what the kid had. The Glock is what Cho had.
Okay, sorry, that's where I was getting confused. Thank you.
Answer any questions that the defense may have?
Drop that.
So, as a firearms expert, are you familiar with I guess it's States 11, which is the Taurus 30 pistol?
The Taurus G3?
G3?
Yes.
Oh, right, G3. And you examined it?
I did.
Now, you testified that there were 10 bullets submitted to you, though they're not in the same box.
Yes, 10 unfired cartridges.
So you agree that this weapon, this 9mm pistol, is semi-automatic, is that right?
Yes, a 9mm Luger semi-automatic pistol, yes.
So it holds 1 in the chamber
Yes.
and 9 in the magazine,
No.
all right?
Welcome in, King Tiger. Did you have a quick question for us? Accidentally request? All right, it'd be like that sometimes. Have a good night.
How many in the mag?
Give me 1 second, because sometimes it can be submitted with extended magazines. 1 second, and I'll refer
That
to
would
it.
mean more bullets.
I'm sorry?
That would mean more cartridges.
Yes, more cartridges. This particular firearm was submitted with a magazine that could hold 17. So if you fill the magazine, it's 17, and then if you carry one in the chamber, the firearm itself can hold up to 18.
17.
Yes.
And now, you mentioned that this Taurus weapon was compatible with what you were asked about being a solo fish.
Yes, the solo fish flashlight laser combination, it is compatible with the Taurus. It's also compatible with the clock. Both of these firearms could have that flashlight on them.
Are you aware that your department concluded this weapon belonged to the young man Belton who was deceased in this incident?
I don't pay attention to the particulars. I just look at the evidence.
Did you examine the Taurus to see if it had markings that would indicate that all this was attached to it?
No, I did not.
And what's the function? Well, we can assume a tactical light is a flashlight.
Yes, it's a flashlight and laser. It just has buttons. You can turn either one on.
And this pad also in combination, meaning one accessory that attaches to the
Yes.
weapon and would attach to the bottom of the barrel of the Taurus?
It attaches to the frame. The frame has like...
I'm going to get some drinks. Like, we're going to get some shots, everybody. And every time he says laser, we're all going to drink. I think that we could effectively be on the floor by the time he's done with this witness. I'm betting money on it.
like kind of grooves cut out that's called accessory rails, and it's underneath the barrel, but it's actually attached to the frame.
As consistent with the Taurus, which have those rails.
Taurus and Glock both have those, yes.
And the red dot laser, is this a red and green or just a red dot laser?
I did not examine this, so I don't know what color the laser is.
What's the point of this accessory, a red dot laser?
Well, it's not necessarily a red dot laser. So a red dot laser is actually a brand. So this solo fish flashlight laser combination, the point is so that you could possibly shoot in the dark if you needed to illuminate anything that you plan on shooting at. And then the laser can be used to help shoot what you're intending to shoot, so targeting.
So the gun not equipped with a laser sight, is that fair? One not equipped with a laser sight, you have to look down the barrel and try to hit what you're aiming, right?
You would look down the sights, which are on top of the firearm. Again, it doesn't matter really. It is helpful, but it can also not be helpful. It depends on what scenario you're in. If you're in a scenario
What
where...
is it? I'm sorry.
Correct.
I'm sorry?
I'm not sure what it meant. You said it.
The flashlight laser combination?
That's not my question. My question is, without that equipment of a laser sight,
Yes.
you're relying on your aim,
Well, you're
pointing
relying
the
on
weapon, looking down the barrel, and the two sights that are metal pieces on the...
You're relying on your fucking aim either goddamn way. What?
Correct.
I swear to God. I need Jesus for this shit.
top of the barrel.
You're relying on your aim either way, I guess is what I meant, is it. Your aim is not necessarily made better with a flashlight laser combination. Aim is not everything. When you fire a gun, if you are anticipating firing that gun, you are going to usually miss what you're aiming for.
Well, let me ask you to go back to my question, if you don't mind, John. That's not really responsive to my question, which was pretty simple. With a gun,
I just asked you
That
a couple times. Let her explain her answer.
well, that's because her answer
I feel her so much right now because that would have been my face too. Like, what the fuck?
is not responsive to my question.
Well, I understand sometimes you don't like it, but you need to let it finish, and then we can move on from there.
Have what?
I'm sorry, I don't know where I'm at now, so I don't remember what I was saying. You can
Let me
rephrase
ask
your
the question
question.
again. Can we agree that a laser sight fires a beam of laser light?
Correct, yes.
And the purpose of the laser light is to allow the person, whether it's nighttime or daytime, to put that light on whatever you intend to shoot to improve your ability to hit what you intend to shoot. Isn't that the purpose of
It
the laser?
does help, yes.
Okay, thank
But
you.
only if you are competent with a firearm. If you are not competent with a firearm, it's not going to help you.
And you don't know about the owner of this?
I don't know who owned this, and I don't know their competency, but having a flashlight laser combination does not make you suddenly a magically gifted shooter.
Do you have a red laser or a laser sight on your firearm, your service revolver?
I do not.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything on your end?
He just said service revolver. What is it, 1980?
Listen, I mean, he's 800 years old, and you already know this. I think that was that guy that looks like Doc from Back to the Future, or it was the guy with the wig. Either way, both of them are old as shit. So maybe they're living there still, you know? Service revolver. That was great. Oh my God, Jim, would you agree that the laser sight makes your musket more accurate? Yes.
You familiar with a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380 pistol?
Yes.
Oh, that little?
Yes.
I got one of those that came equipped with a red dot.
Yes, it comes with the Crimson Trace laser, yes.
Your Honor, I don't think it's proper direct, and I don't know that it's relevant. What he owns at home.
It's about freaking laser
Well, I'd be
beams.
happy to go into his gun collection.
Gotta do it right, Law. It's freaking laser beams attached to their freaking head. Sorry, every time he says laser, all I can think of is Austin Powers because I'm like, Jesus Christ.
This guy's got a hard on for lasers, and he doesn't even know like how they work or what they do.
Imagine. Just imagine. It's fucking great. Imagine hating a laser that much and having no idea what it actually does. That's magical right there.
You think that relevant?
Overruled.
You familiar with that gun?
I am familiar.
It's a mass-produced pistol.
Correct, yes.
And it actually comes from the factory with a built-in laser.
It does, yes.
Do you have any firearms with lasers?
I don't know.
Do they help you shoot any better?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, you step down, man. Thanks for They ready to go in there, good?
Yes, sir. You're on state call. Time to.
Let's see who the hell this is.
James Whale will affirm the testimony given in this case to be true, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Please have statement witness stand and state going to the record.
Taima Jordan.
Mr. Jordan, where are you employed now?
I'm currently employed with Garfield Wilson Associates.
Okay. You and what are you doing over there?
I'm now a polygraph examiner and probably investigator.
Okay. You used to be. Where did you used to work?
Richland County. I retired in September of last year.
Okay. And do you miss me working with me?
Actually, I do. But you tell one of my favorites.
How many?
Sweet Jesus.
How many years did you work for the sheriff's department?
22 with the Sheriff's Department and 3 years with Camden Police Department.
Okay. 25 years in law enforcement altogether, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And, just generally, I'm not asking for specific. Did you see a lot of change during your time in law enforcement? Just in investigations, just crimes, everything?
Absolutely.
Okay. And when you did retire from the Sheriff's Department, what unit were you in?
I was actually in the narcotics unit.
But at times, did you investigate violent crimes as well?
Yes, I did.
You had occasion on May 28, 2023 to become involved in this case, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And May 28, 2023 was the date of this incident, correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Would you walk us through how you became involved in the case?
So that was Memorial Day weekend. So I was actually supervisor on call. So the way that works is from Thursday midnight to the following Thursday midnight. There's a team of investigators that handle calls after 5 o'clock. I happened to be the supervisor on that particular shift. So we were responsible for handling any calls after 5 o'clock that required investigating.
Okay. And at some point, did you get a call to respond to either Springtree Drive or 7441 Park Lane Road?
I did.
Okay. And what was the nature of the call?
It was a shooting hit.
Okay. Where did you respond first?
Actually, I was on the way to Ranch Road. We were called there because they had found some juveniles in a vacant apartment with firearms. So I was actually headed there to help the other investigator at that time.
Okay.
Is it just me? Like, Law, I'm going to ask you this question. Why do their witnesses feel like out of order almost, like non-cohesive? Like, it feels like we're kind of jumping back and forth all over the place. Is there any particular reason, or can you see this strategy going anywhere?
Well, thoughts of strategy went out the window with this prosecution a long time ago, but I mean, generally, like I think I said earlier in one of our previous reviews here that you either want to go chronologically or in the order that makes the most sense for the presentation of evidence. So if you go chronologically, you go A, B, C, D, here's what happened. But then, you might go along with like a presentation of evidence is like, okay, well, first we're going to talk about the surveillance in the store, and we're going to present all the witnesses that have to have to deal with that. Then we're going to talk about the firearm, and we're going to present all the witnesses that have to go with that. Then we're going to talk about the wound and the death, and we're going to have all the witnesses that go with that. Then we're going to talk about what Mr. Cho's self-defense was, so you can group them together like that, but you need some sort of cohesive strategy so that the jury can put it into, mental buckets that they can recall easily. And that's most successful by either doing it chronologically because our brains are wired to think that way, or doing it in a way where they learn everything about whatever piece of evidence, or testimony you're trying to get them to lock into, and then you move on to the next thing.
Well, and I would probably think certain types of crime, like certain strategies may make more sense, right? Like if it's something that occurred over a long period, maybe you do it a certain way. But since this was a rather condensed period of time that we're sort of talking about, maybe there's a different strategy you can use. But yeah, no, it just feels all over the place. And I'm trying here. I'm trying not to tinfoil hat, even though I have my tinfoil hat on, because this is just so bad. It's terrible. And let's see what this motherfucker has to say. I always think it's unprofessional when a prosecutor's like, do you miss working with me, to a witness on the stand? Move the fuck on. Maybe we don't go there. That's
Well,
weird.
if anything, it's you're importing some bias in the eyes of the jury that you have this strong personal relationship with this guy, so he's not going to be objective in his testimony. I think it was a terrible thing to say.
That part. Thank you, Law. That part. I wasn't going to go that far, but you went there, and I'm here for it. Because, yes, why would you want the jury to know that this guy knows you like that? Like, I wouldn't. Like, I would. If you were questioning me on the stand, and we've known each other quite a long time, I would expect that the jury wouldn't want, or at least I wouldn't want you to acknowledge that to the jury, because then that creates an issue. So yeah, I mean, maybe they're trying to prevent the defense from coming up there and be like, well, how long did you work with this project? But I don't even know why that would come up. Like, if you knew the victim, that might be a little bit different. But yeah, sorry, I just had to.
Well, yeah, and the defense would just, or the prosecution, if they start going down that line, you would just say that, it's irrelevant. You'd object to relevance, but now he's opened the door, so now the state can go back and be like, no, you said you missed working with the state? So you had a good working relationship with the state, right? You guys worked together to make sure that you prosecuted and put away a lot of criminals, right? Have you ever worked for the defense? Now in your private life? No, you've always worked for the state? Okay, thanks. It's stupid.
Well, I'm just saying, we're closing the loops here. Like, how many coincidences make a thing, Law? I'm just saying, this is the second or third time that they've opened up whole cans of worms that the defense can come back and be bitchy about. So, just saying, you may need to get your tinfoil hat out. And yes, if they don't call the ME, you have to get the tinfoil out, because that's weird. Okay, we'll get back into it.
So you were redirected, you were going to an incident involving juveniles and firearms. Is that what you just said?
Yes, sir.
While we're at it, You talked about a lot of changes in 25 years in law enforcement. In the year 2023, was it uncommon for the sheriff's department to get calls regarding people under 18 being involved with firearms?
It was not.
Being in possession of firearms?
It was not.
Okay. And that's illegal, is it not?
It is.
Is it your testimony that's become something that has become more and more prevalent as time has gone on from when you started in law enforcement?
Yes, over years it has.
Okay, so you called for service at Parkland Road with shots fired, you said?
Shots fired, or someone hit from gunfire.
And are you familiar with ShotSpotter?
Yes, I am.
What is ShotSpotter?
So ShotSpotter is a system that we use, or that we did use before I retired. The system that's placed around the county with sensors, and those sensors are able to detect gunfire.
I'm sorry, what?
Were you familiar with ShotSpotter hit in this particular incident?
Yes, I was.
And so essentially, that's just microphones that they're set up around Columbia, Richland County, and certain places that they're basically microphones on the tower?
Correct.
Is that super common? I've never heard of anything like that.
ShotSpotter, yeah, it's common in major metropolitan areas.
That's probably why I live in BFE, so, or at least I have for about 20 years, so yeah.
Yeah, I used to have to work with ShotSpotter data at Hennepin County, and notoriously unreliable. If somebody set off a firework, if somebody had an engine backfire, and then the zone of confidence is anywhere from 20 to 300 yards. So I really don't understand why ShotSpotter is coming up. There's no dispute about where the gun was fired.
It's always interesting though, because then I think about microphones or just out there, just kind of like hanging around. That's weird. It gives me weird vibes. And I got the tinfoil hat on. So I hope everybody could see where I'm going. I'm not alleging any of that occurs. I'm just saying, like, it's weird. I mean, but to be fair, your phone is, people worried about trackers. Your phone, welcome to, the big leagues there.
Phones and sensors.
And they're trained to pick up gunfire?
That's correct.
Let me show you state's number 5. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is that just a copy of the ShotSpotter that was picked up on this occasion?
It is.
All right. Take off the state number 5.
Objection?
No objection.
All right, let's take 5 without objection.
Okay, so that would be something that ShotSpotter would pick up, and then does that, when ShotSpotter detects gunfire, do they alert local law enforcement?
Right, that's exactly what happens.
Okay, and so is a time attached to those ShotSpotter alerts?
It is.
Okay. When you respond to 7441 Parkland, do you go directly there, or did you go to the scene on Spring Tree Drive?
To the scene on Spring Tree Drive.
Okay. And what was going on Spring Tree when you got there?
I think EMS had already left. There were several other investigators already there, and also deputies that were there as well.
Okay. Was crime scene there yet?
I don't recall seeing them yet.
Okay. Was Mr. Chow there at Spring Tree, or had he already gone back to Parkland?
I don't remember seeing him at the scene.
Okay. All right, so you probably didn't spend too much time at the Spring Tree Road incident, did you?
No, I did not.
Did you go to 7441 Parkland then?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and who was there when you went there?
They just let that motherfucker go? He shot somebody in the back and they were just like, cool, we'll come get you later. Like, I feel like he would have at least been taken to jail and needed to be bailed out. That's
I
crazy.
think they got him. I think they arrested him the next day, if I'm recalling from earlier testimony.
That is wild work. Sorry, that's crazy.
It was Mr. Rick Chow, the defendant, Danny Chow, and Alice Chow.
Okay. At that particular time, what was your understanding of what you were investigating?
Apparently, the victim in this case allegedly had stolen some water. And so we went back to the store to try to get surveillance video to see if that actually occurred.
Okay. So Mr. Chow was there, you said?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And was he cooperative with you as far as trying to obtain video?
Oh, he was, yes.
All right. There was some testimony earlier about a room that he had his equipment in. You remember that room?
Yeah, so you walk in the store, you pass the front counter, kind of make a smaller left, slightly up, a small right, and it's right there in the back.
Okay. What do you remember about that room?
Monitors and hard drives everywhere.
Okay. And did you direct Mr. Chow to look up a certain time period?
Correct, that would be correct.
And what was that time period? What were you trying to watch and review on the video?
Try to see the time that the victim came into the store and also the alleged shoplifting that they said that occurred.
Okay. Did you have multiple angles to choose from as far as video camera surveillance footage?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And did you review multiple angles?
Is this why
Yes, we
they
did.
brought Bro in for
Yeah,
a 45-minute
earlier
conversation?
Series of clips. It states number 3, which has been admitted into evidence. Then we have a number of slides that came from that were also admitted into evidence. I'm going to walk through those with you and just see these videos that you would have reviewed. But first of all, let me. Was Deputy English in there in the room with you and Mr. Chow when I was looking at the video?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And he was wearing his body-worn camera?
Correct, he was.
Okay. We're going to, it's in evidence as Deputy English's body cam. We haven't published this portion yet, but it's in evidence. It's his body cam. We're going to publish a section just for them having cure. So we're going to call that section number 84. Information is published page 84.
Yes, sir.
This better be really fucking relevant.
Just real quick, did you find Mr. Chow being to be adept at navigating through his security system?
Very much so.
Okay, we just saw some. Was he able to fast forward his video?
Fast forward, rewind, slow it down,
Okay.
enlarge.
Did you ever speed it up?
Yes.
Put it in reverse?
Yes.
Zoom in?
Yes.
Zoom out?
Yes.
Toggle between different cameras?
Yes.
Was he able to do that for you rather quickly?
Yes.
Okay, I continue. I'm sorry.
What the young man did to make sure.
So you just asked him, can you rewind? What did you just say?
Actually, could he go back to the angle where he was at the water cooler?
All right, so you just asked him, can you rewind to go back to the angle where he's at work?
Correct.
Here, let me try to enlarge this.
Well, I wanted to look at it to see exactly what the young man did to make sure that we saw what we thought we saw.
To your knowledge, was any stolen merchandise found on or around Cyrus Carmack building?
No.
And you're asking him now to go back to the scene where he's at that water cooler, is what you're saying?
Yes.
I'm going to continue playing it now, okay?
Yes, sir.
So he takes them out and he puts them back.
You realize Cyrus. You remember that moment? You realize Cyrus never took anything. Do you remember that?
I do.
And in the video, Mr. Chow turns, he just sort of does that.
He does that.
Was anybody showing any emotion during this time? To your recollection?
And that's my recollection, no.
And so he's fast forwarding. He's reversing. He's zooming in. He's pausing. He's putting it in slow motion. Is that what you remember?
That's what he was doing.
All right. I'm going to show you some videos now that came from station number 4, number slides. We
Lord.
haven't published them yet, but you saw down that night, you've seen them since. Is that
Yes.
true?
Yes.
I'm sorry, slide 2.
Motherfucking
station number 4.
videos better be. Okay. At this point, I'm fucking calling it. This prosecution just wants to bore this jury to death and doesn't give a single solitary fuck about actually getting a conviction on any of this shit. You can show 500 people these videos. Nobody fucking cares. Like, please, like, I swear to God, law, you talk about this all the time. Are these attorneys that didn't learn that brevity is important? I'm just asking, like, really in my spirit here.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, there's a fine balance. The state has the burden to prove every element of the crime, but they also get to pick how they present it. And up until right now, I would have thought that this witness's goal was to show that the victim didn't actually steal anything, which is a good thing to highlight to the jury, that this entire altercation was because they made a mistake about what happened. The Chows did, which isn't a bad thing to point out. But now we're into the parking lot, so that whatever point that was going to be is going to get overtaken by whatever's coming next, because people generally remember what they hear first and what they hear last. Everything else in the middle kind of gets lost.
Like, I want to be clear here. It's not that, like, they could have called all these witnesses. Like, I don't have an issue with them. Well, maybe not the guy that the defense, like, ate for breakfast, but maybe that one I would have left out. Well, or I would have just done a better job of, like, doing my job as an attorney. But regardless, right? It's not that like bothers me. You can call all these witnesses. I do think that they're all important. Like, I think some of them are more important, but I do think that they're all important. My issue is that they're taking 45 questions, videos, exhibits, to get to a nothing burger point. Like, that's where I get, like, very, like, agitated with them, if that makes sense.
Nope, you're right.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Okay. I'm going to go down to slide 3 of station 4.
Are we going to show 5 angles of him not stealing water?
Next is slide 4 of station, slide 4 of station number 4.
Wow, this is really just
Good old state
captivating
file.
video.
No slide file on station report.
Oh my fucking God. We know he went in the store.
Slide 6 of station report. Okay. And on slide 7 of station report.
Are they trying to establish that his camera system showed multiple angles? Bro, we know. We had a 45-minute conversation about it earlier. I'm not watching all these angles, y'all. If y'all want to go back and watch that for yourself, that's your prerogative. I ain't fucking doing it. They're going to get to the point.
Every point, a red laser that was attached to the fire. Your view of the video is, did Cyrus Carmack Belton ever brandish a firearm inside of 7441 Sparkling Road, the Shell gas station owned by Rick Chow?
He did not.
That part?
Did Cyrus Carmack Belton ever point a red laser that was attached to a Taurus pistol while he was in the Shell station at 7441 Sparkling Road?
He did not.
Do you acknowledge, has anybody?
That's not what the defense said occurred. So why did we do all of that to answer not a point that the defense has made? I'm really trying to just like understand this, and I just don't. I swear to God.
I can't help you.
Go get the tinfoil log. Go get the tinfoil.
Anybody ever said he did that?
It's in the store?
In the store.
No, no one.
I want to go down to slide 15 or say something.
Swear to God. Show one more motherfucking video. He showed he didn't steal anything. We
That's the slide 16 that's facing the floor. State 17, or slide 17 is facing the floor.
I hope they show the guy that was just left standing there taking his shit. He said, I don't have no water in my pocket. I don't have no water in my pocket. And then left. That's insane.
Moving on to states, or slide 18, states number 4.
Oh my God.
Do you agree with it? There was multiple angles that you were able to review of the same incident?
That's correct.
At this point, we all
Next
agree
to my
to
left
that.
is slide 19 of states number 4. Slide 20, states number 4. Next is slide 21. State your
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Had I been this jury, I might have found that motherfucker not guilty out of spite. Not really, but you get my point. Like, this is insane.
I do.
Did you ever recover? Did you ever see the shoe that popped up for him in that slide?
When I went back to the store, it was on the counter along with 2 cell phones.
Okay. And who had collected those cell phones in that shoe?
Alice Chow.
And she had taken it from the scene and brought it back to the gas station?
That's correct.
Do you know if she took any other evidence from the scene?
I do not.
Okay. But the crime scene was unable to collect
Why would she
shoes and
take
cell phones
cell
from where they
phones?
originally found them because Alice Chow had already moved them?
That is correct.
All right. You can skip a couple here to slide 24 of State's report.
If you show me one more motherfucking video.
Slide 25 of State's report. That's the pick. Together. States 67 to 68. She, okay. No, it's not. Everything on
Yes.
Be helpful. What if you had their shoe? Would that be helpful?
Yes, it would.
What sort?
Okay, I swear to God, I don't know that my brain can take much more of this. I'm about to fast forward through the rest of the prosecution and just get to whatever the defense is gonna fucking tear his ass up for. Because if I watch them go through one more goddamn thing that we already know or that hasn't, like, this is not a content, like, nobody's alleging he didn't enter this store. Nobody's alleging that he didn't run away. There have been no allegations of this, not one single fucking one. And also, by the way, Rick Chow is claiming self-defense. He's already admitted he shot him. He's just saying he shot him in self-defense. So I cannot, for the life of me, understand why we're doing. I'm sorry, Law. I'm just crashing the fuck out because I'm losing my mind. There's no fucking point to this. Like, I cannot do it. Do you mind if I just fast forward to the defense? Because I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Go to the defense, but then go back up just a little bit because I want to see what their final questions are to him to see what point they're trying to land.
Well, we can do that. Hold on. Let me see how much longer they're talking to him until. Oh my God. You know what? What we'll do is they go to a whole break because that's how long they've been fucking diddling around. Hold on. Oh, wait. Oh, we might be at the last questions. Hold on. We'll just watch it from here because they're about to go to a break and then it looks like the defense attorney's going to come up here and question them. The same guy who questioned last time. So, yeah.
What sorts of things could you do if a suspect left their shoe behind at a scene and you were trying to identify them?
DNA or fingerprints.
You can request DNA or fingerprints?
Yes.
All right. What if a suspect, you had multiple camera angles of their face, high definition videos of their face, you had their shoe. What if they left behind 2 cell phones? Would that help you in identifying that person if they did commit a crime? Would that be helpful to you?
Yes, it would.
Have you ever responded, or has your department ever responded to a call for service to a convenience store because there was a complaint of shoplifting?
Yes.
And is that common?
Unfortunately, yes.
But that's your job. Is that not the sheriff's department's job to respond to calls for service if somebody is accused of theft at the store?
It is.
And is it your job to investigate if you were called to a convenience store for the crime of shoplifting?
Yes, it is.
All of that to get there. That's where we're going.
Do you have any knowledge of your department instructing employees or owners of convenience stores to follow suspected shoplifters and chase them down?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay. Not that you're aware of. Have you ever heard of anybody in your department instructing anybody to do that?
No.
Fuck.
You familiar with facial recognition technology?
Oh
I am.
my god.
And what is that?
Technology that
Jordan,
recognizes
do you
faces.
think it would be, you would have some tools to work with if you had gotten a call that this guy, this boy right here is stolen? Do you think you would have some tools to help identify him
Yes.
and investigate whether or not he had stolen water?
Yes.
Do you feel confident law enforcement could have handled this?
Absolutely.
Thanks. All right. Answer the question.
All right, we're gonna take a break. We're going about an hour and a half, so we will take our afternoon break. We will, let's just say.
That's what they were
3:45.
getting at? That's what they wanted to get to? Did they need all that to get to? I just feel like they didn't need all that to get there.
The seems like the crux of it was there were alternative means of seeking remedy for alleged shoplifting, not chasing after him, which is that was a long journey to get there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we talked about that at the beginning, and I was like, I think that's where they're going to go with the wall of shame and the, you know, like, why are you chasing after him? And, you know, instead of just like calling the police. And like, yeah, like to that point, like, I don't mind them entering all the video. Like, that's fine. It's just why? Like, it just didn't seem relevant to where they were trying to go with the questioning, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't concise or impactful, in my opinion.
yeah, okay. They haven't used him to just, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Trying to jump to where they end their break. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go take my medicine real quick. I'll be right back.
Investigator, I want to give you your proper title.
But I'll be listening.
Would like me to call you.
Ty's fine.
Ty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to make sure I give you your proper title and the respect that you are due. You have been sitting in the courtroom, so you understand all the questions I ask people at the beginning, so I don't think that's necessary. You testified many times before. Is that fair statement?
That is correct.
And the two of us have never met. Is that also a fair statement?
That's correct.
Okay. Focus over here while I ask you these questions. I want to go through a little background and make sure I understand a little bit more about you. Is that a fair statement?
That's fine.
As I ask you these questions, I just want to make sure I understand a little bit of everything. You were with Force for how long?
25 years.
In those 25 years, you started out with your training at the Criminal Justice Academy?
That's correct.
And at the Criminal Justice Academy, they gave you training?
They did.
They trained you on how to become a police officer, if you will?
Essentially, yes.
Training on report writing?
Yes.
Investigative techniques?
Yes.
Witness interviewing?
Yes.
And in conjunction with that, the other thing that we also work on is you go to seminars.
Continuing education classes, yes.
You've been committing continuing education classes, I'm assuming.
Yes, to keep certification.
And we do all of these things to make sure that we are good investigators, officers, stewards of the community. Is that also a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
And when we go through these classes and things of this nature, we want to make sure that we uphold a certain standard so that we treat every case the same. Is that a fair statement?
That's fair.
And when we look at these things, we talk about the investigative techniques, the witness interviews, investigation, collecting evidence. We want to make sure we uphold a specific standard so that later we can sit down and talk to a jury or a judge about what has happened in the case.
That's fair.
We want to make sure when we're looking at these cases that we don't use our memory, we use the evidence and information that we find on scene, witnesses, we do everything correctly.
That's fair.
Because we do not want to rely on witnesses' memories and we do not want to rely on emotion when we're trying to make decisions. Is that a fair statement?
That's fair.
And we do not want emotions to get in the way of actual critical evidence and police work. Is that also fair?
That's fair.
You have been put on the stand, and is it safe to assume that you are the case agent in this case?
For lack of better words, yes.
And as a case agent, I'm free to ask you questions about this case. You're pretty familiar with it, as the solicitor just did.
I am.
And you have looked at all of the information, the files, the witnesses, the evidence, everything that I was just asking you about that we do in a very specific way to make sure we can do things critically. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
And so I'm free to ask you questions about what has happened, the investigation, the evidence, and the other witnesses that were talked to in response to this specific case.
Yes, you are.
And so first I want to talk to you about, and we spent some time talking about the store in question. So again, I want you to tell the jury, where is this store?
7441 Parkland Road here in Richland County, Columbia.
And one of the things that we started talking about in cross-examination and the direct examination from the state is they were talking to you about the victim in this case, correct? And they're talking to you about him.
Yes.
And when they were talking to you about him, they were talking about him going inside of the store, correct?
Yes.
and there was questions about when he walked inside of the store, what was he doing?
He's walked in the store.
He's walking into the store.
Correct.
And through the course of your investigation, is that something that you looked at to make sure that he was just walking into the store? Not anything else. We just investigate, or we just say he just walked into the store, we don't investigate any further?
Walked into the store, then we observed whatever else is on the video.
And so you watched the young man walk in throughout the store.
I did.
And as you walked into the store, did you think anything when you watched the video yourself? Did you see him walking around the store and you say, this is a little strange? You had mentioned that you had studied and looked at shoplifting for many times. Did you look at the video and thought there was something there?
No.
You didn't think there was anything suspicious or anything strange about his behavior patterns walking around or how he acted in the store?
No.
And this is, you have testified to this jury that you have investigated how many shopliftings in your time?
I can't give you a count of that. I've investigated numerous cases.
And when we investigate shoplifting cases, one of the things that we look at is we watch the behavior patterns and how individuals walk around the business. And in your testimony, there was nothing odd or strange about that.
No.
So when we watch the investigation and look into the behavior patterns of the young man who walked inside of the store, you watched him go to a water cooler. Is that correct?
I did.
And when you watched him go to the water cooler, you saw him take water bottles out and put water bottles back in. Correct?
Did.
And as a matter of fact, when you saw him taking water bottles in and back out, immediately the first time you could not tell it was done, and you asked to rewind it and watch it again.
Just to make sure that I saw what I thought I saw the first time.
And you had him zoom in so you could look a third time to make sure you saw what you thought you saw.
Yes.
And so you saw the young man put water bottles in, put water bottles back out several times, or twice maybe, I think.
Well, he took them out and then put them back.
And you thought there was nothing peculiar about this?
No.
And I'm looking at this case, looking at the background that you know everything about. You know the young man went into the store with an empty book bag.
With an empty book bag?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes.
I'm asking you, you're the case agent.
Yes, I mean, there's other contents in there, but I mean, it was essentially empty, yes.
It was essentially empty?
Yes.
And you've heard testimony that he went in there with a firearm?
Yes.
Okay, so this young man, and there's also been testimony that there was no money on him. There was no finances on him whatsoever.
That is correct.
So this young man went into the store with no money, an empty book bag, and a loaded firearm. And you're telling this jury there was nothing suspicious.
Oh my God. Do you know how many times I forgot my card in like either my car or otherwise? Like, I'm not even kidding you. I went to HEB a couple of weeks ago and didn't realize that I had taken my card out and put it on my counter. They were nice enough to hold my groceries for me, which was very sweet of them. But the point being, do you know how many times I've just forgotten my money, my cash, my card, my whatever? That happens all the fucking time. Like, that's insane.
Yes.
I don't know if it happens to you, but like, I'm notorious for it. Like, that's why I have to make sure I put it back in my wallet, like, because I'm ridiculous.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time, and thankfully I use tap and pay for most stuff, off of my phone. So if I don't have my wallet, it's not the end of the trip. But if I'm shopping someplace that doesn't do tap and pay, I'm hauling my ass back out to my truck because I very rarely have my wallet on me. I have it in a lockbox in my truck that I keep it in there for when I'm going into jails and into court and stuff like that. But if I forget to grab it out of there and I don't have my phone with me or they don't accept tap and pay, I'm hauling my happy ass back out there. And if I only had 4 things in my hands, I'm going to put them back and then go and, get my wallet. Or if I realized I don't have my wallet and I can't pay for it, I'm leaving the store.
Man, that's real shit. Like, I don't even know how to use tap and pay on my phone, but I'll have to look into that. I remember that I was able to use my Apple Wallet for the subway when I was in Chicago, but beyond that, I don't know how to use that shit. But that's fucking awesome, and I'm gonna have to discover that because I notoriously forget my card. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, we don't know they didn't have any money on him at all. There was no money found on him.
Again, my question was, you're telling this jury there's nothing suspicious about that.
Absolutely not.
And that is normal, and that happens.
It depends on who you are, what your normal is.
I'm asking you as the investigator.
But I can't speak on behalf of him. It's okay. I would probably do the same thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
You would go into a business with an empty book bag, a loaded firearm, with a bullet in the chamber, with no money in your pocket?
No, you asked me about the money.
Okay, I guess what happened is, officer, if you'll allow me to ask my question, I promise you I'll give you opportunity to answer. If you simply allow me to finish the question, I'll give you as much time as you want. Is that a fair statement?
Fair.
So as I was saying, what you said to this jury right now is you probably would have done the same thing. And my question was, as in going into a business with an empty book bag and a firearm pick water in and out of a cooler with no finances or no money on you to pay for it? That's something that you would have done, is what your testimony was?
To that question, no.
Okay.
Chose didn't know he had a firearm. They didn't know he didn't have any money on him, and they damn sure didn't know he didn't have anything in his book bag. Just a side note for everybody. Oh, Attorney Di, this has been the hottest of hot messes.
And it's your testimony that that behavior that I just described was nothing that caused you any concern whatsoever? And watching the videos and rewatching them?
Well, that was determined or found out after the fact, as far as the book bag being empty and him having a firearm.
Well, officer, when we talk about investigation, one of the things we talk about is we investigate the entire thing, the totality of the circumstance. We don't piecemeal investigate.
No, I'm calling cap right here because here's the deal. The Chose, because what I'm gathering he's getting at is that the Chose were somehow looking at him and perceiving him to be acting in a nefarious way or like he was stealing. But the points he's pointing out are that he had a firearm, an empty backpack, and no money on him, which the Chose had no way of fucking knowing. That's why, like, juries must be stupid, because this is the first shit I think of. How would the Chose know that to begin with? That's crazy shit. Hi, Attorney Di.
Hello.
Well,
I've been
and
running around a little crazy, but I'm back.
well, good morning, Attorney Di. And it's utterly irrelevant to the use of force. So again, this is just character assassination by the defense, trying to show this kid was up to no good. That's all this is.
My God, Attorney Di, yesterday you missed the ending. And
dear.
Law, do you want to go over it for a second? Because the end, it was a fucking heartbreaker, man. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. The prosecution shit the bed so bad. I'll let Law tell it. He can do it quickly. Brevity, baby, brevity.
Which one are we talking about?
The ending yesterday with the guy, this particular attorney, like going ham on the witness, and how it ended yesterday, because Attorney Di and Jen left a little earlier and they didn't see the ending of it, where the prosecution gets back up there and they're redirecting, and then they do. Oh yeah, okay, I'll let you explain.
Yeah, so I think you saw part of the cross from the defense where they're just tearing into this guy's credibility with his tinted windows, whether or not he changed his statements, whether or not he saw it through the rear view mirror or saw it through, directly through one of his windows, like all of these things. There's just this laundry list of things that they were trying to cast doubt on. And then the prosecution comes back on redirect. And what did they clean up? Just like one part
All they
it?
did was say like how he was like angled when they fired at him. That was it. And that wasn't even anything the defense touched on. They didn't touch back on his vantage point or any of this stuff.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. They did not cure any of the issues that were present on the defense cross. They just left everything hanging out there. All of these challenges to his credibility, what he saw, whether or not he changed his statements, and things like that. There was one point when on cross he was, the witness was saying like, afterwards I saw a bunch of stuff on social media, and it wasn't and thought about it, and then he got cut off. But like the state needed to come back and clarify, well, if you gave a statement, why would that have been stress situation, try to at least cure that at all. And they made zero attempt at that whatsoever. It was a bloodbath.
Yikes. Okay,
This is why I now have my tinfoil hat on, Attorney Di.
I was wondering. I didn't want to say anything. I thought it was like, you're like dyeing your hair or what?
Fashion statement. No, I've got
like a skull cap.
I've got my my tinfoil hat on because they had this bloodbath, right, yesterday. And, they're still going, obviously, because this is just day 2. But then they start out with the video forensic expert to ask him. They took up 30 minutes of my life to make not one single solitary fucking point that had anything to do with this case. I really am at the point where I think the prosecution is in cahoots. Like, they don't want this guy to be convicted. Like, I've landed on it because I just don't see any other way. They cannot be this dumb. And like, no offense to I've worked, like, Law said he's worked with dumber prosecutors. I've seen some dumb prosecutors, but this is a next level kind of bad. Like, this is so bad. I'm underwhelmed and unimpressed. So I think they're in cahoots. Like, this.
Okay.
That's why I got my tinfoil hat on.
That's very smart of you.
Yeah. I told Law if they don't call the Emmy, he has to go bust out the tinfoil. Because, yeah. They called some other guy, but they didn't call the actual Emmy yet. So we'll see if they do. All right.
All right, great prep. Thank you.
Yes, let's finish up with him, and then we can do a little bit of discussion, and then I'll probably shut it down because it's getting a little late tonight.
Investigation, do we?
We do not.
And so we investigate the totality of the circumstance. So are you telling me you did not investigate the totality?
We did, but go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
But you asked about the store. At the time he was in the store, there was no indication that he had a firearm, that the book bag was empty, and that he had no money. No one knew that.
But you did when you investigated, because you're the investigator. You're not a witness in this case, correct?
Correct.
You are an investigator.
Correct.
We do not try with emotions, correct?
Correct.
We try to utilize evidence and look at the full scene so we can present the full story to the jury, as I just asked you, correct?
That's correct.
And so looking at the totality of the circumstances, your testimony to this jury, there was nothing strange about that behavior?
Once again,
as an investigator.
Him going into the extra question, because you do a lot of word salad, so can you give me the actual question?
That behavior is not strange?
For him to have a book bag?
An empty book bag, a loaded firearm, a bullet in the chamber, going inside with no money to pay for anything, pulling water in and out of a cooler, putting it back and forth.
Well, is he asking him if it's strange from his perspective as the investigator? Because he's not asking that question correctly. If he asks them, like, you looking at this as an investigator, do you find it strange? Sure. But also as an investigator, if you're just asking, is that like him going into this store strange? No, because to his point, nobody knew that shit. Nobody knew any of that. Fucking wild.
I wish he would do the old cop trick of asking him to rephrase the question, and then saying, I don't, I can't answer that question the way you phrased it. Could you rephrase? You can do that a couple of times and really get underneath either a defense attorney or a prosecutor's skin. But cops rarely want to get under a prosecutor's skin.
That's hot tips. I love it, Law. Thank you so much. I'll be using that the next time I'm accused of something. Can you rephrase your question? I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah, I love it.
Yes, Your Honor. Number one, ask and answer. Number two, his opinion in the testimony was asked. Do you find this to be strange? Your opinion?
I'll put just one more time.
The firearm being on him is the only thing that I would find that would be not right.
And so now let's go to the firearm. Through the course of your investigation, one of the things we have to figure out is ownership of said firearm. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, it is.
And the solicitor was asking you questions about 14-year-olds in the community with firearms. You remember talking about that a little bit?
I do.
And you are aware that Richland County, your sheriff's office, your sheriff, has a problem with children.
Yeah, they opened up that can of worms again, Attorney Dye, again.
I was going to say, didn't we already deal with that?
Yeah, in cahoots. I'm telling you, they gotta be at this point.
I'll go get my foil.
I'm telling you, man.
That is correct.
And it is not your testimony to get on the stand and normalize it and say it's okay. It is a problem.
It is a problem.
And so we're not trying to sit here and say it's okay for a minor to have a firearm with a bullet in the chamber going into a store. That is not your testimony.
No, it's not okay.
And as we were trying to figure out, there's little things that we have figured out about that firearm. Do you agree that we figured out and found DNA on that firearm?
We did.
And the DNA belonged to who?
Cyrus.
So we had that. And then during...
If he had it in his pocket. I'm pretty sure he fucking touched it. That's crazy. Oh my God, we found DNA on it. Of course you fucking did. It was in his fucking pocket. He did touch it. Like, that's crazy shit.
Why do we have DNA instead of fingerprints? Can I just ask that?
That part. That's interesting. That's a good question, actually. Hold on.
I think it depends on who has the facilities. Like, we only have one place in my whole state where you can go in and get a DNA analysis. That's why we rely, especially out in the sticks, on fingerprints more than anything else.
Yeah, they do have a DNA lab. They had testimony earlier from they actually have a firearm and tool mark expert on staff.
Oh.
So yeah, she testified earlier. She actually did a really good job. But DNA is more conclusive and less labor intensive if you have a lab at your disposal, which they do.
Okay, good to know.
Hi, Shanna. Welcome up. Did you have a question for us, hon? All right. Hello? Okay, just probably an accidental request. No worries. If you have a question, you can go ahead and come up. Anyway, so we'll get back at it.
You utilizing your investigation, you have testified prior before that you looked and utilized and went through the social media sites. Is that a fair statement?
I didn't go through his actual stuff, but what was given to me through extractions and through their findings, I was told what was in there.
As the investigator, the lead investigator on this case, one of the things we went through is to look to try to figure out the ownership of the firearm.
Correct.
And one of the things we utilized is went through his social media page to figure out ownership of the firearm.
Social media wouldn't tell me that he actually owned that gun. He's 14, so he wouldn't be able to purchase a gun.
I apologize, that's a bad question. Ownership and or possession. Is that a better statement?
Yes.
And through the course of your investigation, you discovered that he had possessed that exact firearm within 24 hours of this incident.
It appeared to be the same gun, yes.
And this is something you have testified to prior. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
I'm going to show you this picture and ask if you recognize it, and then ask to testify to that prior under oath before.
My professional opinion in this too is that the attorney here, this is defense attorney, right?
Yeah,
he's got to be careful with these questions because there's such a long sentence. It's almost like he is testifying, and the judges don't like that. So I'm hoping maybe it's just the style here, but you can't. And he's leading, obviously, which is fine, but there's a lot coming out in the form of a question. They're not even asking it like it's a question anymore.
There's a difference between leading and testifying. There absolutely should have been, counsel's testifying objections.
Okay. I thought I was going crazy, but alas, I am not.
No, you're correct. I just honestly didn't even think about what it was called, but correct, Attorney Di. I gotta get some Tylenol. I'll be right back. I'm gonna play this.
You can look at me. You don't have to ask me.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you can look at me and ask. The question, do I need to repeat the question, officer?
Yes.
Do you recognize the picture based upon the questions that I just asked you about your investigation, and have you testified about it formally under oath before?
Yes.
Okay. And what is it a picture? What does it depict?
Picture of Cyrus holding a gun.
Which gun?
It's a black gun with a light on it.
Does it appear to be the gun in the case that we're talking about today?
It does appear to be the gun.
And that is a picture from his social media that was posted on his social media.
He was on his social media.
And that picture, could you describe what he's wearing?
Red hoodie.
Did you put a
with
foundation down for this?
Is it the
picture?
exact same outfit he was wearing when he went into the store on the date that we're talking about?
The hoodie, yes.
Where's the picture from?
Now, at this point in time, to remove this in.
They said social media. I don't think they're trying to get it into evidence, though. I think it's
Just a memory
just
refresher.
refreshing recollection, yeah.
All right.
Hi, Max. Did you have a question for us real quick? Sorry.
No, I was just coming up. You're like a chill. I look at you as kind of like a sane, because I'm a Democrat, and I feel like you're kind of like a more sane Democrat. So I know you review a lot of legal stuff, and I like law too, because I've talked to him a lot about immigration as well. So I was like, I'm just gonna see what's going on.
Or sorry, I didn't realize my mic was. We're just kind of watching this case. We're not really doing any politics. I can't deal with that shit right now. I'm taking a break. So if you have questions about the case, I can keep you up. But if you just want to chill, you're welcome to chill in the comments. Is that cool?
Yeah. I'll shoot you a follow, and then I'll come back another time when you're having a dialogue.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, but if you do have any questions come up, you're welcome to jump back up and ask them. Like, you're very, very welcome. So I got you. All right, have a good one. Sorry, y'all. I just trying to keep it to like specific questions about the case because I can't do the politics tonight. It's too much. This hurts my spirit. Okay, let's get back in.
Based on the pre-trial motions, I'll allow it as defense one subject to state protection.
Now, before we get into a little bit more about the ownership of the firearm, now the picture that we're talking about in
No,
the
asking
picture that
for
we had just
permission.
did is from defense
First
exhibit
witness.
number 1. That comes from.
What's up, Attorney Di?
I was saying he wasn't. This attorney here is just not following regular protocol for asking questions. In my opinion, like he is very unprofessional. It's kind of bugging me, but maybe I'm wrong. What do you think, Law?
No, I mean, this is the same attorney who was badgering the witness yesterday. I find him to be slimy and unethical, and should be have complaints filed against him.
Okay, great. I thought it was just me again. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
Or no, you're absolutely good. Like, honestly, I've met some shitty attorneys, and I think I've only ever met one who was very aggressive like this guy is in court. I think it's very movie overplayed, but I don't see it a lot in the day-to-day. Like, that's crazy shit. Like, I don't know. Like, you always hear about like attorneys acting that way in movie, but like seeing it's just a whole different matter. Yeah, he's very unprofessional.
I would say too that shows that he hasn't really, and I've not done any research, but once you've done a few trials, then you don't have that like bring the thunder Tom Cruise anymore.
Yeah,
you're just like, oh well,
you
in
can't
law
handle
especially,
the
you had like
truth. Sorry.
exactly. I mean, you had like what 12 cases that went to trial a couple weeks ago. You don't have time for all of that crap out of a few good men. It's like you get in there, you do your job, and then you go home.
Who has the energy for that? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, who has the energy for that? Like, sorry, guys. Oh, God. This thing made my head sweaty, so I have to take it off for a minute. We'll get the tinfoil hat back on. These prosecutors are in cahoots if you're coming in here. This is just my terrible objective opinion, but they've done just the shittiest job imaginable. And now we're going to watch a defense attorney abuse a witness, and the prosecution maybe make 1 to 2 objections. Y'all watch. Although they may make more because they actually know this person. The other guy, they clearly didn't give a fuck about. But this guy's a former sheriff or something like that.
From a social media page, correct? As you just testified to.
Yes.
Okay, and that was from his Instagram page, and that was actually a larger post that was posted. Is that a fair statement?
Correct.
It's a screen grab from a larger post.
Correct.
Can you describe to Dre what that post was that you saw when you looked?
I don't remember the exact post.
You don't remember what the post was?
No.
If I show you the post, will that help refresh your memory?
Yes.
One moment. There's a screen grab of you Does that video help refresh your recollection as to the question I just asked you about where did the screen grab, how that picture actually come from?
God, why is this
video.
such a drama
And could you describe to the jury what was in that video?
The gun in his hand.
And what was he doing with the gun in his hand?
He said in his hand, the light was on, so I couldn't see what he was doing behind the light, but he had the gun in his hand.
You're a 25-year officer. You've been doing this a long time, correct?
Correct.
You know firearms.
Yes.
You understand firearms.
I do.
And you're telling the jury you do not know what he was doing in that video?
Oh my
The light
God,
was
rude.
flashing, so it appeared that it could have been pointed at the camera. And that's the way it appeared, but I can't say that for sure because of the glare of the light.
Objection, speculation. Like, are they literally asking him to speculate on what he's doing right now? Or would he be able to offer that? I'm curious.
I don't think it's speculation because it's asking for his interpretation of what was happening, but it is argumentative. So that would be the objection there, is that he answered your question. You don't get to ask it again, asked and answered just because you didn't like the answer. You don't get to repeat your question more aggressively because he didn't answer it the way that you wanted to. I think it's argumentative to say he provided an answer and then to go back and try to reframe his response as non-responsive is argumentative. So that would have been my objection.
Gotcha.
Light behind the flashlight.
But this is a video from his Instagram that goes with the screen grab that we're just talking about now, correct?
Yes.
And this is one of the things that we utilize to determine and prove ownership of the firearm that we're talking about in question.
Once again, he's 14, so he can't actually own or buy the gun, but he had it in his possession.
And his DNA is on the firearm.
Correct.
Your Honor, at this point in time, we would move the full video at Defense Exhibit 2, based upon what he just testified to, understanding the defense's and the prosecution's pre-trial objection.
They were only on the second exhibit? Damn.
What did they do? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Oh, I was just saying they're only on the second exhibit. Hot diggity. That's like, wow. I was just thinking
For
about
defense, yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, the prosecution's done such a terrible job that they haven't really needed to get anything in. I think, again, this exhibit's irrelevant because it's been stipulated and proven that he possessed that Taurus firearm. This is just more character assassination because they want to try to paint the kid as, you know, recklessly waving around a gun in a video.
I hate it here, y'all. I really do. I want the defense to just, like, can we just, I don't know. Can we get to the point? Because the prosecutors have been driving me nuts. Like, defense hasn't had to do almost anything this entire time. Like, in those last couple of witnesses we've watched, because the prosecution has just done such a shit job of presenting all their information. Like, it's that fucking bad. Like, they all need to be fired. I don't know who I need to write a letter to, but I'm gonna write a fucking letter. That one lady was watching court TV and wrote the judge and was like, hey, I could see the jury person on TV. I'm writing South Carolina and being like, you need to get rid of every last one of them because you're never gonna win shit.
Evidence comes in and we talk about this. Talk about relatives.
We addressed that in pre-trial motions, and I think I've already ruled on that.
Thank you.
That it's not coming in. Well, there's an email this way.
Okay. Your Honor, this is charges offense number 1.
Sure.
Here it is.
What in the fuck is that? Oh my
Looks
good
like
Lord.
a picture of him holding that pew pew or gun with, and I don't want to pause it too long on this because TikTok be crazy. Well, I don't think they can tell. And he's in the same hoodie he's in that he walks into the store with. But here's the thing, even if he made a video with this, and I don't think that's great, I don't think anybody should be like allowing their kids to do shit like this. But kids do shit like this, and it doesn't prove anything other than that he took a picture with this people. Like, it proves absolutely fucking nothing.
I would have liked to have a foundation for this one too. I would have liked to have had some idea rather than boom, he's up there with a weapon. Like what? Oh, right. But maybe I missed that part. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
You really didn't. There's not much of a foundation for it other than, to Law's point, character assassination. I think. Law, would you agree?
Yeah, so it sounds like there was some pretrial work on this particular video, so it was already, stipulated to admissible provided proper foundation could be laid. So, they did lay the foundation that the investigator reviewed the Instagram. This video was on the Instagram. Now they're publishing it to the jury.
Gotcha.
I missed the Instagram part. All right. Well, thanks.
See, Law's got this. He's tracking everything. I just work here, man. Okay, can we... Sorry.
To the firearm.
I said it could aid.
Okay. Did it?
Yeah, it did.
So is that, from your example, from looking at defense exhibit number 1, is that the light that was on the firearm that was found on scene that day?
It appears to be.
TikTok's gonna fucking shut me down. They
And
gonna
that
hurry the
would be
fuck
the
up.
firearm that we believe is in state's exhibit number 11. And I'll show that to you all.
Yes.
So again, through the course of your investigation, do you not find it strange, weird, peculiar that on the day before this, or within 24 hours, this is posted and then he goes into the store through your investigation?
You shouldn't have had a gun, period.
Okay. Now I want to talk about the things that happened inside of the store, okay? Is that fair?
Okay.
And talking about what happened inside of the store in the videos that we just watched, we watched actions of different individuals. We watched actions of Andy Chow.
I don't know if you're asking me a question or making a statement, sir.
Did we watch the actions of Andy Chow?
We did.
Did we watch the actions of Rick Chow?
We did.
Did we watch the actions of Alice Chow?
We did.
And then we watched the actions of Cyrus.
We did.
And we've already established that Cyrus would have had a firearm when he walked inside of the business.
That's correct.
We've already established that he legally did not have a right to either own that firearm or walk into the business with that firearm.
That's correct.
And then one of the questions comes up, and we're going to talk about Andy Chow's action that we watched in the video first. Okay. You have been at the front of that store before and looking back to where the coolers are?
On that day?
Kelly in the comments is asking, is this a normal line of questioning? Some of the questions may be somewhat normal, but a lot of what he's doing is first of all, he's making statements. He's not asking much of a question. He's being somewhat argumentative with the witness. I don't know. He's a whole hot mess. I'll let the attorneys answer this, but like this is the best I can give you.
I mean, with every questioning, you're trying to establish some point. And I think the point they're trying to make here is that Cyrus was wrong because he had the gun. I'm not seeing anything that's going towards justifying a use of force against him. So, and I don't know if we're going to get there. We'll see once the defense has their case in chief. But it seems mostly that their effort has been to try to character assassinate the victim. And to that extent, this would be a normal line of questioning, even though if it's a slimy thing to do.
Fair enough. Di, any thoughts?
Okay, well, yeah, I think again, they're just trying to make it look like, well, and I think this happens a lot actually when you have a first aggressor that's so aggressive and you've got a victim though that's, I think that's exactly right. They're taking their time to kind of ruin his reputation such that they can, but he's repeating stuff over and over and over again. So in my opinion, if this was a defense counsel that I was working with, I'd be like, sidebar. And then I'd be like, the judge, we're going to be here for 10 fucking days if this guy doesn't get himself sorted out with his questions. And I've got objections that I need to pull into the record in case we get appealed.
Thank you.
That's where I would be.
I hate repetitive questions. Like redundancy bugs me. Like, don't get me wrong. If you have to ask like more than one or two, like that's fine. When you're asking the same shit over and over again, it starts to remind me of people when they get really intoxicated. And I know Everybody knows what I'm talking about, even if you're going to lie up in these comments and say that you don't. But when you're around people who get really, really intoxicated and they keep telling you the same fucking story over and over and over again, and you're just like, can you please shut the fuck up? Like, that's where I'm at with this defense attorney. And to some extent, the prosecution too, because they've been rather ridiculous as well. So just on a different level, not the redundancy, they're just dumb. So yeah.
To be fair, though, too, this is a very experienced officer. He's their principal investigator. So this might be their last witness, because usually you would end on your lead investigator to kind of tie everything back up together. But he's handling things extremely well. So, I mean, I'm sure he's testified probably dozens, if not hundreds of times in court before. He's kind of getting under the attorney's skin by like, oh, that was a statement. Is there a question? Saying he's doing word salad.
Oh, no, he's doing amazing. Like, I'm not so much worried about him, but I get agitated at like some of the redundancy and stuff. But like the witness that we had yesterday was the one I was like mad for. I would have throat punched somebody for that witness. I just genuinely felt bad for the guy. And like, I've heard them offer an objection for him, but they didn't want to step in for that witness. And like, buddy, this guy's got this. Like, I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't offer their objections or anything like that. That's not my claim. Just like, he knows what he's doing. He's done this, to Law's point, dozens or probably more, because he said 20 years, I believe is what he said. So he's been on this stand multiple times. He knows what to expect. That witness yesterday was just so bad. It made me want to cry.
Well, yeah, he was getting beaten, kicked down while he was on the ground, and it's the state's job to intervene to protect their witness.
Yep.
And even with this guy, though, the repetitive questions, the argumentative, and just because the attorney is trying to build up this narrative, objecting is a great way to throw an attorney off their game. You know, even if your objection gets overruled, you can throw him off his game a little bit and make him, maybe dial it back a notch. And just staying silent is just pure prosecutorial, I won't say misconduct, although tinfoil hat maybe, but at least, I don't know what the word I'm looking for
Neglect
is.
Or negligence,
yeah,
maybe?
Negligence. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you.
I would say just let me to dive in here. I mean, it seems like when I would ask repetitive questions, I wouldn't just be like, A plus B is C, just like over and over and over again. It's just obviously there's something I'm going after. I'm trying to get it. And with my question, and if I can't get it from him, I'll pull back that question, ask a few more, and then I'll come back to that question again. So it's kind of like I'm still trying to get out of him something that this question's looking for. Right.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of go back and forth over and over and over again. But this fella just seems to be doing it just for funsies.
Well, he gets the answer. He gets an answer, and it's a valid answer to the question that was posed, and then he doesn't like it, so he asks it again in a slightly different way.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. Like, I've objected many times when cops are being evasive. I'll object to non-responsive and ask the judge to instruct the witness to answer the question. And a lot of times I win, sometimes I lose, but then I can come back to that question again after building up a little bit more to make it more clear specifically what I'm trying to get him to answer to. And this guy's just asking the same question again.
Mm-hmm. Well, exactly.
And to be clear, like I've tried to listen to the objections that the prosecution has offered. They've offered a few objections for asked and answered over both of those two witnesses, this guy and the other one. But here's my bigger problem is that I've not heard one argumentative objection, what is it? Anything like that. It's like they're allergic to it. Like that guy just starts throwing hands and they're just sitting there with their thumbs up their butt. Like, I just don't get it. It's wild to me. They need Di's book. I need Di's book because I want to understand objections better. I know a little bit, but like I love it when you guys explain that stuff to me because there's nuance to it, and you know, there's reasons why you use X and reasons why you use Y, and I love that. So yeah, we all need to get Di's book on objections. All right, let's see if we can finish up with him.
Yeah, anytime, like in part of your investigation, anytime.
I may have been in a store in my time in Bristol County maybe 3 times, if that.
And one of the things that we have talked about is that Andy Chow had made a determination that he believed that Cyrus was stealing from the store.
Okay.
Is that a fair statement?
It is.
And then you went and looked back and forth at that video, and it appeared as though nothing had been stolen.
That is correct.
And that he was putting water back and forth, but it did not appear that he had stolen something.
That is true.
And so, but still, from Mr. Chow, and I mean Andy's vantage point, that's what he had told you he had thought. Is that a fair statement?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay and what somebody else thought.
Sustained.
This case is all about the shoplifting occurred, according to the state, correct?
It is.
When he went back up to the counter, from the videos we watched,
I missed the
question
judge's
is,
ruling
did
on
he
the
have anything in his
objections.
front hood?
Sustained.
Sustained. Okay, thank you.
Is that a fair statement?
They asked me if he had any water in his front of it.
And it appeared as though there was something heavy in his front hood.
I believe so, yes.
Could you see how someone could have mistaken water for a firearm?
Objection. That's an improper question.
Yeah, I was saying that. False speculation.
And watching the videos at the front that we've replayed, were you able to see something heavy in that front hood?
Not necessarily, but
I watched some of the stuff they played of him showing him when he shakes out his pockets, right? He puts both hands inside the hoodie. I could watch him do this, and he's shaking it like this, and like kind of like he's like, I didn't steal anything, and he's showing them he didn't take anything. And then I guess after the second or third time he got called a thief, he just picked up his book bag and left. At least that's my interpretation of what I saw him do.
What do you mean? Did you look?
I did.
Okay. And were you able to see and check if there was anything heavy from your vantage point looking at these videos?
He has his hands in his pocket.
And in your 25 years of experience, was that suspicious behavior?
Keep your hands in your pocket?
Yes, sir.
No.
Sorry, I'm dead.
The fuck kind of a question was that?
No, like
I love the clarification. Keeping your hands in your pockets? No.
Exactly. I like this guy. He's a great witness.
it's like I'm sorry. Well, I just like pictured you answering that question. Just feel like keeping your hands in your pockets. No, like fucking. I'm sorry. I don't know why I saw you in my head doing that, but it was funny.
Hey, hon, have you already taken your medicine tonight?
Me?
Right. My husband always asks me that when I get kind of loopy in the middle of the night. He's like, "Are you on your medication?" And I'd be like, "Yes, get out."
No, I the only medication I took was my insulin
Well, you have.
and my Tylenol.
All right.
Yep, which totally explains the tinfoil hat. Thank you.
Yes,
I was
exactly.
wondering.
I didn't
All right,
even take my gummies tonight. So like
That's what I was talking about.
yeah,
That's what I was like. Have you?
not
You haven't had this?
not yet. That's for after this because I found if I do legal lives and I take a gummy beforehand, I am in a next level universe. And expecting me to explain anything to anybody is bad news bears. So I just don't. I just say no while I'm doing these lives. So
The videos, we can agree based upon your testimony that Rick Chow was being very helpful in letting you see the videos.
He was.
And when he was talking to you about the videos, as we were watching them on the screens, he was asking Alice, when did the shoplifting occur? Something like that. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Okay. And so is it safe to say, I'm sorry, and in watching the videos that
hello, Elle. Did you have a quick question? Oh, I think we got a butt request.
Oh,
Okay, cool. Got it. All right, we'll get back into it.
We watched, most of the actions that happened inside of the store are Alice Chow, Andy Chow, and Cyrus.
That is correct.
And Rick Chow is in the back.
Yes.
And Rick Chow is the one who was showing you the videos.
He was.
And then once the three of you, and I think it was you, Officer English, and Rick, were looking at the videos, I think you had made the impression when he saw nothing was taken, he put his hands up or something like that?
He did.
Genuine shock?
I don't know if it was genuine.
Did you think it wasn't?
Speculation, asking him if another person shot.
I didn't know that thing.
Did you indicate that in a report, anything of that nature, that I felt that he was faking or anything of that nature?
No.
And we had talked about when we do report writing that we want to make sure we have specifics. Would you agree with me there?
That's true.
And we don't want speculation.
No.
And we don't want to rely on our memory from 3 years ago.
But the video showed what it showed.
And what I'm asking you is the shock. Did you indicate anywhere in his report that he looked like he was faking, this was not genuine, he was making this up?
Well, I didn't say any of those words, but the video showed what it showed.
And when he talked to you, he had no lawyer with him.
He did not.
He didn't request a lawyer.
Not to my knowledge, no.
He just was talking to you and helping you and aiding you on what was going on.
That is correct.
And the conversations that were happening at the front of the store were between Alice Chow and Andy Chow concerning the potential shoplifting. Would you agree with me there?
That is true.
And none of the conversations were between Rick Chow and this young man.
Not that I'm aware of.
And not that we saw in any of the video.
That is correct.
And also, we've gone back and forth, and I understand how you feel about following someone out of the store. That this is not something you would advise anyone to do. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely not.
And you would definitely not advise anyone to follow anyone, chase anyone for 130 yards. You agree with
Absolutely
that?
not.
But you would also agree that that's not against the law.
Because not against the law, you have to use common sense sometimes.
Correct. But we're not sitting here and saying following out of the store is against the law.
It is not, but once again, common sense has to be applied.
And in certain situations, we have, you've been asked this question before, officers sometimes have to follow individuals. Would you agree with me there?
We do, and we're trained to do so, and we are, once again, trained to do that, and that's our job as law enforcement officers.
And sometimes,
to go into danger so that you as other citizens do not have to do so.
And sometimes officers make mistakes.
We all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And we can only take the information that is presented to us as we are paying attention at that point in time. Is that fair? Meaning the officer who walks in a situation, he can just take the situation as he sees it.
Could.
And in a situation, if, and this question was asked to you before, if you are following someone and they turn and point a gun at you and or your partner, what would you do?
Tell them to drop it.
And if they did not, what are you trained to do?
Fire, stop the threat.
Mr. Chow has a concealed weapons permit.
He does.
And that was part of the investigation that you looked into.
Correct.
And that is something that we also teach in the concealed weapons classes. Would you agree with me there?
What's that?
That's the same thing that they
Nash, I believe it's the lead investigator.
teach you officers on how to be proper and how to assess threats and things of that nature.
Correct.
Have you had opportunity to look at all of the interviews and everybody who's given an interview in this case?
I have.
Are you pleased with the way that other officers conducted and did their interviews?
We all do things differently, but I have confidence in all my fellow co-workers and did it to the best of their ability.
To the best of their ability. But there's some things that could always be done different. Is that a fair statement?
Some things we all can do different. I'll do better. You're human.
And when I started talking to you, one of the things I was asking you about is trying to, well, maybe I didn't ask this question, but I'll ask it now. When we try to get statements, do we try to get them as close to the incident time as possible?
We do.
Almost always. That is one of the things that is paramount to be an officer. You try to get as close to the incident as possible.
He doesn't have much longer left.
And I'm not trying to cut you off, but could you explain to the jury, why do we want to get something so close?
Well, we want to do it also, I guess, to capture the time so that nothing is possibly forgotten to help with the investigation.
And that is a great answer and a great question. We want to make sure nothing's forgotten. That is.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
I apologize. Sometimes I do make statements instead of questions, but one of the questions is we want to make sure witnesses do not forget.
That's correct.
We want to make sure that witnesses' memories aren't merged with someone else's memories.
True.
We want to make sure that social media and things of that nature don't influence an individual's memories.
That's correct.
And these are the things that we're taught at the Criminal Justice Academy as well as the seminars and classes that you've attended. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
And we try to make sure that when we interview witnesses, and I think we've watched some of the body camera, we want to separate people. We don't want them interviewed together.
Okay, they're going to go through this attorney is going to go through a 50-minute long dialogue on this, but I'll simplify it for everybody. Our brain works very hard to fill in gaps in information. And the reason they don't want to witness looking at other things that other people said is because it can start to influence and alter their interpretation. Now we can go into his 30-minute tirade on this.
Correct.
I mean, that's one of the first things that say, do not interview witnesses together.
Correct.
Why don't we want witnesses interviewed together?
You want each person's authentic statement and what they saw and not have them impact each other.
And as an investigator, as an officer, as a gentleman who's doing this a long time, you have seen situations when other statements influence other individuals when done incorrectly. Is that a fair statement?
I haven't.
I know you've never done it, but have you ever seen a situation where someone's statement can be influenced by someone else's?
Objection.
Not that I can recall.
Testifying.
You do not believe that actually happens?
You actually have, if I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I have not. I said I can't recall ever seeing it.
Have you seen a situation where an officer interviews two individuals at the same time?
I have not.
And we watch all the body cams in this case.
Yes.
Would you agree with me sometimes some of the officers are actually talking to individuals as they're together getting statements at the same time?
In this case?
Yeah.
Objection,
I don't
relevant.
see that.
But if that did happen, that would be a no-no?
It would be.
We talked, well, we haven't talked yet, but 911 calls are something that's also been.
Yeah, but what if it's like a kid giving a statement or somebody under the age of 18? Do they have the right to have their parent there?
Not always.
True.
Yeah, I mean, not always. I'm just asking in generalities.
They should. I think the only exceptions would be if we're talking about some kind of a search in a school environment, perhaps.
Yeah, school environment, or if the parent is either a potential suspect, you separate the kid to get a independent statement.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just like, I don't know, because I don't know all the witnesses. Like, I'm just curious. I was curious about that. I knew there were some circumstances where they don't always have to have a parent, but I figured it was mostly normal for them to, but not all the time. To Law's point, that's correct.
Very important.
That is correct.
Because 911 calls, that's when we get the, I use the legal phrase that all of us know, the excited utterance. That's when we get the person's true emotion when they're talking and what really happened. And that's as close to the incident as possible a lot of times.
That can depend. Sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Present sense.
Is he alleging that an excited utterance is the truth?
Is a hearsay piece. Excited utterance is what? 803
Sorry.
1 maybe. And then present sense impression, which is the one I prefer over the excited utterance. But I'm assuming he's talking about hearsay here.
I think he's just giving it as an example of why we want to get statements close to the event recorded. And I think this is again to go after yesterday's witness who seemingly offered differing testimony on an interview a couple days later compared to his on-site interview. The guy who said that he saw Cyrus fall down and get shot in the back.
Okay.
So I think he's offering it as a example of when you get accurate information closest to the source event.
Gotcha.
Sometimes people's emotions and what they see can cause them to maybe, how can I say it? Maybe forget things that they saw, but once they calm down and think about it all the time, they start remembering things. And so that's why we try to bring them back sometimes so they can get a more detailed statement.
But don't we worry about witnesses coming in and getting 2-3 different types of statements? Isn't that something that we have as officers?
It is.
And you were in here, we worry about individuals getting different statements. We want things to be consistent. Is that fair?
That is true.
And when we're talking to the jury, our goal is to try to present all facts to the jury so they can have everything, so they can understand what happened on the scene, so they're not taking our opinion. Is that fair?
That's about ability, yes.
Did you interview either Rick or Andy? And I don't know, I'm literally asking.
Andy.
You did interview Andy Chow?
Yes.
Thank you for that. since you are the investigator who knows the full question asked of some witnesses, and you a question asked of some witnesses, and you may or may not be able to answer this since you are the investigator who knows the full file. There was a question asked if anyone on scene was told that Cyrus pointed a gun at Andy Chow, or if Andy or Rick Chow ever said that. Do you remember?
I don't recall.
So you do not remember if that was said?
I don't recall at that time.
That was such a bad question. It could have like 6 different answers, so that's on me. You do not recall the question being asked of anybody, or, well, first let's start there. Do you recall that question being asked?
I don't.
To the best of your knowledge.
I'm sorry, what?
Just saying objection compound. He's asking two or three different things in one question. Should have been another objection.
This prosecution is just horrible. I hope I'm never the victim of a crime there, because there will be no justice, guys.
Did Rick or Andy Chow on that night indicate that Cyrus pointed a gun at Andy Chow?
Objection, Your Honor.
That's fine. You've heard the testimony of some of the witnesses who have testified. As the case agent, was there ever any concerns about the veracity of any of the witnesses who have testified?
No.
Did any of the officers under your steward, when we were looking at this case, question any of the witnesses' veracity?
Objection and end hearsay, Your Honor.
Same.
Good God. The prosecution bring in their objection expert now?
I promise you I'm almost done. I promise I am. I think the court intelligence from the
Yes.
Appreciate your testimony. I know this is a difficult time, a difficult situation. This is a difficult time, a difficult situation.
I'm trying not to skip ahead of where they start.
Testimony. I know this is a difficult time, a difficult situation, and I don't want to take that for granted. But just to make sure I go back and finish. Cyrus Belton went into the store with a firearm.
He did?
It was illegal for him to walk into the store with a firearm.
It was illegal.
Through the course of your investigation, you showed that he had possession of that firearm within 24 hours before going into that store.
Correct.
The firearm was equipped with the light that we see on the TV now.
Yes.
Through your investigation, you found no money or payment ability for Cyrus to pay for anything in that store.
Did not.
The book bag you found had nothing inside of the book bag.
There's some papers in there, but essentially, no.
Your testimony is there was nothing strange that you thought of going inside of that store with nothing in it. Nothing in the book bag, other than the gun. I'm sorry, you thought it was strange going into the store with the gun.
Correct.
Rick Chow immediately talked to you that evening.
Not. He talked to, I guess, other people there, but then spoke to me at the store to show me the video. Yes.
No attorney.
No.
He went down and showed you the video surveillance.
He did.
He comported with everything that you asked.
As far as the video, yes.
When you were watching the video, you had to watch it not 1, not 2, but 3 times, and on the 3rd time you had to blow it up.
Didn't have to, but he said that he could.
He said he could.
Yeah.
And then when it was shown that it appeared as though this person may not have taken anything, he said something that showed shock, but you're not sure if it was genuine.
The video speaks for itself.
And he was not in the store when the shoplifting occurred, or the alleged shoplifting occurred. Mr. Chow. He was in the back. I'm sorry, he was not in the main area of the store.
Correct.
Got a better question.
Yes.
Andy Chow and Alice appeared to be the one having conversations with this young man.
That's true.
Andy and Alice are not charged with it.
No.
Andy Chow was the one who went out of the store first.
Yes.
You conducted an interview with Andy. We can't get into that, of course, but you conducted an interview with Andy.
I did.
On the scene.
No.
So you conducted an interview with him later.
Correct.
You're aware he gave several interviews on scene.
I learned that, yes.
You learned that, yes.
Yes.
Not later, that he gave several
Yes.
interviews on scene. And Rick Chow gave several interviews on scene. And we saw a portion of one already.
I learned that.
Yeah, but you saw one of them.
Yes. I'm sorry, yes.
One of them all there together. And then finally, you have testified, we may disagree with it, we may not like it, but you would agree it is not against the law to follow and or chase somebody from the news.
Not against the law, but once again, use the exercise of common sense.
And you are not sitting here testifying with any suggestion that you believe it is okay for a 14-year-old in Richland County to have a gun with a bullet in the chamber.
It's not okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
I agree,
Yes, sir.
Teddy. He's a really good witness.
If you saw two grown men chasing a child down the road, one armed, would you intervene?
I would.
Was Rick Chow licensed law enforcement?
He was not.
2023, were you licensed law enforcement?
I was.
In 25 years of being a licensed law enforcement officer, have you found yourself in dangerous situations before?
Yes.
How many times have you shot people?
Never.
Have there been times in these dangerous situations where you were felt compelled to have restraint instead of pulling out a firearm and shooting somebody?
Yes.
In 25 years of
Goodness.
law enforcement in Richland County, you never aimed a gun at anybody and pulled the trigger.
I have not.
PTSD much? Damn.
Let me ask you something, Investigator Jordan. I'm still calling you investigator. That's what you are to me. When Cyrus Carmack Belton walked out of 7441 Parkland Road, May 28, 2023, was he walking or running?
Walking.
Was he combative with the Chows, or was he polite to them?
He's very polite.
Okay. In contrast, what were Rick Chow and his son Andy doing when they left the store?
Hastily running after him, or hurrying out of the store to try to catch him.
They're hauling ass.
Yes.
What did Cyrus do when he saw two grown men running at him and screaming?
Now the editorial lesson.
On the other hand, when Cyrus turns the corner after he's walking, what does he do when grown men are running after him screaming at him?
Appear to be scared and take off running.
You know what, Attorney Dye? I feel like everybody in South Carolina, we need to get a mass, like a GoFundMe or something. We're going to send them all objection books.
Oh,
Every
yes.
attorney in South Carolina is going to get one. Because I swear to God, these motherfuckers either don't know how to offer up an objection or they just don't. I feel like they all need to book. They all need it.
I agree. Maybe I'll write a book about it.
Do it, please. I would read that.
All right.
I promise. We're almost done with this guy, and we can have a little bit of a discussion, and then we'll hit the hay for the night. Okay.
Where again was Cyrus Carmack Belton shot and killed?
On his body?
Where was his body found?
On Spring Tree Drive.
Do you know how far away?
Over a football field.
You were asked a lot of questions and about what you find suspicious and what could have happened here and there.
Now
Cyrus
they know how to
Carmack
do
Belton did
follow-up?
not steal anything from that store.
He did not.
Had he been left alone to walk away, not been chased, if everybody stayed in the store whose name was Chow, would this situation have occurred?
No.
Thank you.
Recall.
The solicitor just asked you, I don't really have one question. He asked you in your 25 years, you've never had to pull your firearm?
He actually had to shoot somebody.
And the answer is no.
Never shot anybody.
Have you ever been in a position where somebody is pointing their firearm at a loved one while you were sitting there watching?
Actually, had a firearm pulled on me. On a low one, no.
On a loved one now?
No.
Different situation.
It is.
Thank you so much.
All right, you step down, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So, first of all, now we know that the prosecution knows how to do a redirect. They just didn't do it on the witness they got decimated by, which makes it even worse. I don't know. Law, you got any thoughts, Attorney Dye?
Well, I want to say there's some strategy here, but I'm not sure anymore. I think when you get a witness, though, that is this good, as former prosecutor, I'm assuming it was the state that called this witness, right? Right. So he's incredible. And I think with defense counsel coming in and asking questions the way they did, it makes it look like they're kind of trying to bully him, which is great for me as the prosecutor. And then you just need to ask him a question and let him talk, and he'll give you whatever you need for that jury based off of his experience. So I thought that he was an excellent witness. He was excellent, and the prosecutors needed to make more objections. Defense counsel needs more training and experience, in my humble opinion. But hey, just pin your hopes on the witness, I guess.
Yeah, I think Law's maybe showering. I hope he puts on his bonnet. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Cold
Um,
water's best for the hair. Cold water.
yes, it's always good for the hair. But yeah, like I don't know. It's sort of one of those like now I know they know how to do a proper like redirect. They asked like several clarifying questions. But like yesterday when we were watching the defense just decimate that witness, and the prosecution gets up there and asks like one question. I'm
Well,
not
sometimes
understanding.
sometimes as a strategy, as previously as a prosecutor, like you've got to really pick your battles because you're already in voir dire. You're talking to that's the only time you get to talk to the jury, right? And so you want to come off as like, oh, I'm likable, I'm all right, I'm not the big bad mean government. And so sometimes we have to really assess, like, is it better to go and clarify this, or that's really irrelevant, and then unfortunately be seen as a bully. So you walk a fine line when you're working with the government. And so I think that happens quite a bit. And so, yeah, you just choose, like, am I going to fight this one or am I going to fight this other one? Because if I fight both of them, it's going to be too much for the jury and they're going to think I'm just an asshole. And that to me is what was always kind of in my mind, was like, let's be calm. Let's not give them a reason to like hate us as prosecutors. But also it seems like this guy's like, I mean, it's okay, but he's messy. He's messy. He's not very organized in my mind. I didn't see yesterday, but he doesn't seem very organized. And the objections, again, it's like, do you want to slow everything down? Or are you trying to make it for an appeal? Maybe the state's like, what appeal? We don't give two craps about it. So I just think there could be a lot of reasons why they're going that way.
Well, I never mind like the idea of being like judicious with your, objections. I like that makes perfect sense. Like if they can just reframe it by one, it's the same. Like I totally understand that part, and I understand some of it, but like I feel like when you have a really key witness on the stand with a great vantage point, at least from what was presented before the defense got up there and just kind of like, basically eviscerated the guy. Like, I felt like it was important for them to pull back and clarify, because that was a big part of their attack, was like, where was he looking from? Where did he see from? Even though like he had kind of told us before. So I'm like, why would you not go up there and clarify that vantage point from which you saw him from? There were a few other things that they definitely needed to clarify, but it was just, I was really disappointed. I think Law ended that night, like last night, with just what the fuck, because it was just that bad. Like, and I generally like, again, I'm tinfoil hatting it. I really feel like they may be in cahoots, but like, it was really disappointing to watch them sort of. I understand picking your battles, and that's absolutely valid, but maybe they just thought that the witness got decimated so much that they weren't going to really bother with it. I'm not even sure. Like,
I'm not sure either, but when you've got a break overnight and then to come in, right, because you had the yesterday and then they were done, they went home and then they're back again, right?
Oh no, this is just all day too. This is so like we're watching it in pieces, but like
So was the bad one just before this guy then?
So the bad one was 3 witnesses ago. So we had this guy, we had the oh no, maybe it's 4, because we had a guy that does like forensic stuff for bodies, but it wasn't the ME. Of course they don't pull the ME in. I think she may be next though. I have a feeling. They always have a look about him. But anyway, we had this guy, Before that, there was some sort of policeman that works with the ME's office. Then they had a lady that does stuff with firearms with the police, like investigating like forensics with firearms. And then before that, right after this particular witness had gotten decimated, they brought in a guy who wasted 30 minutes of my life talking about videos for a nothing burger point. It
Oh
was
my gosh.
insane.
Right,
I don't know
right.
what they're doing at this point, and I'm just like, do better.
Well, and I would say, I mean, they didn't do all of those witnesses in just one day, though, right?
No, all
Or
of them have been that
okay,
day. So yeah,
all
this is all day
of them.
2.
This is day 2, and all of those witnesses have been brought in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm just, I mean, I suppose if they plan their testimony pretty carefully, that's a lot of witnesses to have in one day. It's just, it's a lot.
I think they may be trying to bore the jury to death or overwhelm them. I haven't decided yet. They're kind of have a mix of interesting versus just stupid. So it's kind of a fun like setup here. But really the only witness I think that they've just knocked it out of the park with has quite literally been this last one. And at the beginning, which I'm surprised the defense didn't pick up on this because I would have been asking questions about it. The prosecutor was like, "Oh yeah, do you miss working with me?" Like a whole personal relationship. So it already starts to sound a little bit, I just felt like that was inappropriate. And I had asked Law about it. He said the same thing. And I was like, that's just I wouldn't have done that, like let's not go there because it starts to feel icky, right? When you're listening to this guy. And that's why I'm saying they're in cahoots, I swear. They don't
Well,
want this guy convicted.
You never know. You never know. The first and the last witnesses, you want to make sure are your best ones, right? So the first one gets in and sets the stage, and then the last one comes back in and solidifies it and says, "Yeah, see."
And their
And so we
first
gotta,
witness was dog shit. It was just like the first deputy on the scene, and honestly, not much happened. I think they used him to introduce evidence kind of thing. Like that was all it was. But he didn't really say much of anything. I'm interested to see what the defense does. We have one more witness for day 2, and then we'll move on to day 3. And then day 4 is the verdict day. So I don't think we'll have much that day. But
this is a crazy number of witnesses for one day. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
I think they've had, if I'm remembering it correctly, let's see, it would be 1. I want to say we're at 6 or 7 right now for a day.
In one day?
Mm-hmm. Attorney Di's like, "Oh my God, what's happening?"
I'm trying to breathe normally, but this is just crazy, man. That's just crazy.
I think it speaks to a lot of the witnesses they're calling being entirely irrelevant to the case. Like, I think it speaks to something there because if they're getting through witnesses that quickly, that witness doesn't really have much to say. I mean, let's just be really real about it. Like, they called in the guy that does forensics with the ME. Maybe they called him in to introduce evidence, but why not just call the ME? Like, I didn't need to hear from that guy. I didn't need to hear from the videotape guy. We've heard from 2 digital forensic examiners, and neither one of them had offered diddly squat, like not one thing. Like, again, introduction of, but it's still just like they'll play 30 questions with them. Like, you can ask them a few questions and then let them go. It's just weird. I don't know.
I agree.
Maybe Law went to bed. Law, are you still with us, Pookie Bear?
Are you in the shower? Dude, hello. Maybe he fell asleep.
He may have. It's been
It's all those
busy,
trials.
busy.
All those trials he had to do. I still don't understand how he did it. You do one trial and then you go home and you just like crash out for 3 days. And he's like, nope, go home, change my shirt, back into court the next morning. Like,
He's
dang.
always like that though, but I don't blame. Like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it here. This is running late for me.
That's a good
But
call, hun.
we're gonna be back Monday with more of this trial. We'll finish up day 2's witnesses on Monday. I have a feeling that they're calling the ME. So I took a look at what the person I have that feeling in my soul that this is who they're gonna call next. And then I think after that they may cap it off with one more, but they're probably gonna move to the defense calling their witnesses. We know we're gonna see Andy Cho testify. We do know that for sure. I don't know who else defense is calling, but we will be back Monday at 10 p.m. And as always, everybody, you can catch this on my YouTube. A big thank you to Attorney Di for coming in. Always love to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
As well as Law of the Wild, who I think may have fallen asleep or is
With the
taking a
chickens.
shower. Either way. Or maybe he has chickens. Yes, sometimes he has sick chickens he has to take care of, and he's probably hearing me and be like, I'm not asleep. But anyway, guys. All right. Well, thank you all so much. And I will see you all later. Thank you for being here. Bye, guys.